Woodward Sports Network presents a sports show that's more than just sports. Welcome to The Bottom Line with U of M great and former NFL star Braylon Edwards and Ryan Ermani. Sit back and let's talk some Detroit sports right now on The Bottom Line.
And welcome to The Bottom Line. Happy Monday to you. And not only is it a happy Monday around here, it's a happy birthday Monday for my man Braylon Edwards.
I made it.
And Braylon, Maz brought this in, your beautiful sheet cake.
How do you not love this guy, Maz? How do you not love? Homemade, by the way.
Yeah, I was going to say, who designed this?
My daughter Abby and I.
Abby, I appreciate you so much. Thank you. It's very, very special to me. I actually like that you put the effort into a homemade cake as opposed to being like me and just going to Kroger. You shame me.
How about this? She said, Dad, can I write his name in cursive? And I'm like, cursive? That's what he loves cursive.
Abby, I appreciate you so much. And I'm glad it actually got smeared a little bit on the way in. So you know what that means?
Authentic.
It makes it look like it says 37, not 39.
There
so
you
you
go.
gave me 2 years. I appreciate you, buddy.
You got it. You got it.
Honestly, I have not had a handmade, decorated cake like this. I got to say in 15 years.
I can't wait to cut it open.
I know, man. And I'm glad you said it in front of me, so thank you for that,
All
man.
right.
Got it. Happy birthday, Bray.
I appreciate that. It means a lot to me. It was a great weekend. Didn't do much Friday. Saturday, my dad had us over in Northfield. We'll talk about that. That abysmal NBA Saturday All-Star night. But we had a good time, man. My dad made some chicken. We had some good food. We had some camaraderie. And then we did cake and ice cream, so very appreciative. And then yesterday, man, I just relaxed. And I got excited to come Monday work with you guys.
Yeah, man. It was a solid weekend for me. I'm glad you had one leading on into your birthday. You know, we kind of bookended it. We had Maz's birthday on Friday, yours on Monday. So, Maz, how was your weekend? You guys celebrate more?
Phenomenal. Yes. Friday night, my family took me out to one of my favorite old stomping grounds, Mario's down in Detroit.
Ooh,
one of the
nice.
oldest restaurants in town, and had a great dinner. Last night, friends had us over. We bowled Saturday night together, once a month league. Had a great time there, and hey, I'm ready to go. Ryan's soaking up the sun in Florida, and we're holding down the fort on President's Day, and I got presidential trivia coming up for Braylon.
Dun, dun, dun.
I can't wait for that. I love the presidential trivia. I love the presidents. I love talking about the states, the capitals. For some reason, it's weird, something that
Me too.
Gets into. But put that picture up if you can, Alex Merritt. This is my picture that I post every year on my birthday. Speaking of cake, this was my 1-year-old birthday party. And if you're watching at home, if you can check it out, the expression on my face tells you that I didn't get the fork memo. So I'm very upset that my mom and my dad would allow me to make such a fool of myself. But hey, in the words of Prince Braylon, let them eat cake.
That's a great picture, man. That is an absolute great picture. Dude, you still look the same, man. You still got that baby face going on.
I appreciate that, man. Thank you.
For real.
That is hard. That's years of hard work, sleeping at 7 o'clock. There you go, buddy.
There you go, beauty rest. But like Maz mentioned, it is President's Day. We're going to be talking about that. That's what's trending on Twitter right now, as well as the AP Top 25 with Gonzaga being the #1 team in the country. I don't see Michigan up there, so
we'll talk about Michigan. It won't be about these rankings.
Yeah, Michigan State also not in there, but there's a quick rundown for you. You got Gonzaga at #1, Arizona at #2, Auburn at #3, Purdue, Kansas, Kentucky, Duke, Villanova, Texas Tech, and Baylor round out the top 10. And so, yeah, Michigan not on that list, but Michigan was topic A, B, and C yesterday when they were talking about it. And a lot of that had to do with not the game, perhaps.
Oh, it wasn't about the game. It was about something that took place right as the game was expiring.
Yes, but Juwan Howard got into a little bit of a scuffle, a little bit of a slapping contest. Some players were in it. Punches were thrown. Braylon, Twitter went nuts. People wanting this guy fired. We're such a reactionary response right now as a culture. People wanted this guy out of there, and as you can see, just starts out with a little friendly handshake. Juwan was kind of late getting into the handshake line. Right. Didn't appreciate a timeout that was called at the end of the game. People were saying
2 timeouts, actually.
People were saying, well, you shouldn't press then. And to me, you're watching this, and the initial interaction physically was initiated by the Wisconsin coach.
Coach Gar. Yeah, as I'm watching this, for the people that are watching at home, we're showing you the copy right now. We're not showing the volume so we don't get in trouble. But basically what happened was Coach Gar, coach of Wisconsin, he took a timeout because Juwan Howard was trying to press, get some of his guys in there trying to press at the end of the half, trying to finish on a good note, get some offense in. A lot of times you don't get a chance to get in these situations, so trying to get some in-game. experience, and he did not appreciate Coach Gard taking a timeout as they were trying to press. Because when you take the timeout, you now move the ball from the baseline all the way to the other half. So he didn't like that. So at the end of the game, Coach Gard decides to come up to Juwan and explain to him, in his words, why he called the timeout. He reached for Juwan Howard's hand, and in the NBA, they call this the blank stare. Basically, Juwan Howard wasn't a fan of how Coach Gard ended that game, so he was going to just pass by Coach Gard. And as a man, that's his prerogative. You know what? I'm just going to walk by this guy, and maybe we'll talk on the phone. Maybe we'll talk via email. Maybe we'll talk at a later date. Maybe it's after the season. Maybe it's in the Big Ten tournament. But we'll talk at another date. Right now is not the place. I'm not feeling you. I'm not feeling what you did. I just want to walk past you. And if you want to call that something, it is what it is. It's called. In the moment, this is how I'm calming myself down. I'm just going to walk by. So as he tries to walk by Coach Gard not only grabs his hand, he grabs his elbow as well. He grabs the hand, he grabs the elbow so that he can place Juwan directly in front of him so that he can tell him why he called the timeout. And he said something about that in the press conference to the extent, and it was a cheap shot, to be honest. He says, I don't know if he knows that rule or not. Like, that was a little bit of a slap in the face. That was another shot during the press conference. But then Juwan Howard says, don't put your hand on me. And then Coach Gard grabs him again a little bit, and essentially Juwan Howard grabs him as well. Like, listen, you see, I can do it too. MF, get your hand off me. Don't touch me.
Yep. I'm glad we're kind of seeing this the same way because, like I said, a lot of people are just mad at Juwan Howard saying he's not a leader of men and stuff like that. But to me, there's differences in how people can touch you. And I don't care where I am, no matter what I do for the rest of my life. If somebody walks up to me and tries to restrain me, and that's what I thought the Wisconsin coach, that's where he went wrong. Because there's one thing to, like, put your hand on someone's arm, just say, hey, man, I'm trying to talk to you. It's another thing to grip them up to where you control their arm movement and you control where they're standing. And to me, I've been in lots of fights.
Oh, yeah.
And usually when someone's gripping you up like that, it's about to go down, right?
And so I also don't like this. People like, they're calling for his head. You know, and it's just, it sucks because it's one of those things. It's my birthday and I don't want to get into it. And it's off the Malcolm X's death day. We'll talk about that later. I don't want to be the strong, angry, militant black man. But when they see the black man, it's like, see, look at this. It's instantly a look at a snapshot. Like, we literally saw a coach, and I know it's NFL versus NCAA. We saw a coach this year punch a player in the helmet, and nobody said anything. Nobody made any type of ruckus. Bruce Arians of the Tampa Bay Buccaneers punched a player in the helmet because the player did something that he wasn't supposed to do. The player got fined. Bruce Arians got fined by the NFL, but it wasn't that big a deal. You see the same thing where he goes after a coach, and now it's all of a sudden, he shouldn't be doing this. He's the leader of men. So what I want to say to this is, I do not condone Juwan Howard swinging or throwing punches. He definitely is a leader of men. Like, when you hire him, at not even just any school, I'm speaking from my school. When you get hired at the University of Michigan, you are not just a leader of men. You are a leader and the best of men. That's what we represent in Michigan. So this is intolerable. Like, you can't do this at University of Michigan. This is not acceptable, and they don't condone that. Alums don't condone that, and you as fans, you shouldn't condone that. But with that being said,
I condone it. I totally condone it. I'm one of those guys.
See, there's one part that nobody talks about, and I literally have watched this, Maz, and I want to get you in on this in a second. There's one part that I watched 1,000,000 times just to make sure I was saying it right. I know I turned 39. I didn't turn 89. My eyes still work. When you watch the second, when he swings on the guy, the mush slap, whatever you want to call it, the basketball punch, that's what I'm going to call it. Notice the guy that he swings on, the assistant, he's pushing his way through all of the assistants, all of everybody to get to Coach Gard and to get to Juwan. And the last person he pushes, he gets into a bit of a push and shove match with the player. The assistant that got hit. He was pushing a player. That's when Juwan lost it. Juwan didn't swing on this guy just because he was coming up. Juwan didn't swing on this guy just because it looked good. Juwan didn't swing on this guy because he was from Chicago and he wanted to show you how tough he was and he was a part of Fab Five. He swung on the guy when he put his hand on Juwan's player. That's the problem that I have an issue with. Nobody is talking about that. Juwan this, Juwan that. He should be fired. He should be gone. And by the way, he has a stellar reputation as a player, as a coach, as a father. Stellar reputation. One moment, now he deserves to be fired. Pay attention to when he puts his hand on a player, talking about the assistant coach from Wisconsin, that's when Juwan lost it.
And that's why I condone it in a lot of ways. Like, I'm okay with this because, you think of, like, parents, they're out with their kids. Like, you shouldn't fight in front of your kid. Well, listen, you touch my kid, you're about to see a different animal, right?
And by the way, this kid's parents trusted you to take care of him, to protect him. So if that's my son, if this is my son, me and my wife, this is our son, and we see Juwan Howard doing what he said he was going to do when he came in my living room, I have no problem with that.
And how do you feel as a collegiate player when you see your coach coming to your bat like that?
I want to play for him.
Exactly.
I want to play for that guy. With that being said, the punishment that I propose, there's 5 games left in the season. I say suspend him the final 5 games of the season.
Okay.
And maybe even do something along the lines as Michigan, like tell the NCAA or tell everybody that you have told Juwan that he must attend 2 anger management classes or something like that, because it makes it look better when we send it to the NCAA. You don't want the NCAA to get involved.
Can we also send it to some boxing classes? We need to teach these basketball players how to throw a punch, man.
Ron Bellamy tweeted me texted me happy birthday, and I said for my birthday gift, I'm going to get them boxing lessons. But 5 games. Then maybe you do something like you make him go to anger management twice, send that to the NCAA, so the NCAA doesn't feel the need to get involved. I don't want to force their hand. But all this, suspend him the rest of the year, that means if they make the tournament, that means through the Big Ten tournament, that's BS. He has 5 games, you suspend him, you do the two anger management classes, and then he's done. You let him go through. His stellar representation, his stellar record is what I'm going by, and also what I saw, Mass.
He's had some priors, man.
I know Maryland and
Turgeon last year. He's got T.O. He's got T.O.'d. He's got it all. He's angry. He's having a terrible year. This is a bad year for Michigan. You say there's 5 games left?
There's 5 games left.
If they win 4 out of 5, I think they make the tournament. I personally do think they still make the tournament. Fire him? Absolutely not. No way. But those Wisconsin assistant coaches, I wouldn't mind getting my hands on them myself. Yeah, did you see the crotch chop guy, Braylon?
I'm trying to tell you.
Show the chop crotch guy before we go to a break here.
Chop crotch.
Look at this guy. Look at the chop crotcher.
Go get it.
And then he runs. Look at him run. Look at him run away.
1, 2.
1, 2, 3.
Crotch chop.
So this is amazing, because before he does the crotch chop, he legitimately does his hands and said, all you guys are doing is talking. Keep in mind, Michigan was trying to get their hands on Wisconsin. I'm glad that the players we saw a couple punches, but I'm glad that it didn't get past that. But don't do this and then walk away and do this like, a Triple H type move. It's right here. And then turn your back and run away. If you're going to do a crotch chop, hey, come in my face. Let's get it on.
There's always that guy standing 40 feet away running his mouth.
With the littlest shirt on in the arena.
Yeah. By the way, the best crotch chopper is Pete Weber.
Yes.
Okay, Pete Weber.
Pete Weber.
Who are you?
Who do you think you are?
I am.
Pete Weber, then Triple H, and then Road Dogg Diaz. Oh, you didn't know?
Well, we're not done discussing this Juwan Howard situation. We got some quotes from Juwan. We got quotes from the coach of Wisconsin coming up after this. And also going to be joined by Brandon Brown, the publisher of Wolverine Digest for Sports Illustrated. Want to get his take on this, and we will do that next right here. My name is Stick, filling in for Ryan Armani. That is birthday boy Braylon Edwards.
Baby,
and this
39.
is
The Bottom Line. Stay tuned. Matt's has some presidential trivia as well. I can't cheat, although I do have my laptop.
Hi, my diamonds. It's Crystal with an X. You want to get hot and perfect like me? Here's my super easy routine. Drink at least a gallon of water before you wake up. Attach a weight to everything in your house. Hello? Sell your car and just sprint everywhere. Scream when you exhale.
Don't follow Crystal with an X. Do your own thing at Planet Fitness with tons of equipment and free fitness training in our clean and spacious clubs. Join now for just $10 a month and cancel anytime.
Go! Detroit Sports on Demand.
DeAndre Swift, he's going to take it all the way for the touchdown.
Open in the corner, he triples.
Make sure you download the Woodward Sports app today. Take us with you everywhere you go. Search Woodward Sports Network or WSN Live.
Hey, everybody, it's Maz from MyBookie.ag, where I put my sports bets in. And guess what? If you're a first-time sports gambler, MyBookie.ag, got a good something for you on Braylon's birthday. You can use the promo code Woodward. They'll double your first deposit all the way up to $1,000. That's money in your pocket. All you got to do is use the promo code Woodward. March Madness is coming. Only another week or so away, and we'll be in the tournament time. Big Ten tournament coming up. 5 games left for Michigan State as well. Both of them trying to punch their ticket to the big dance. Spartan's probably a lock for that one, but Michigan's got some work to do. You got some work to do, too. You can also bet the Lions to win the Super Bowl. They're 200-1 right now. All you got to do is go to mybookie.ag right now. Use the promo code Woodward. Bet anything, anytime, anywhere with MyBookie. If you have a gambling problem, please use the Michigan Gambling Hotline, 1-800-270-7117.
Raising it to a point where it looked like you hit another coach in the face. What kind of happens in between to make that happen?
Well, basically, I addressed with the head coach that I will remember that because of that timeout, and for someone to touch me, and I think that was very uncalled for him to touch me as we were verbalizing and communicating with one another. So that's what ended up happening. That's what escalated.
That is audio and video of Juwan Howard speaking after the game yesterday, just, kind of saying, hey, don't touch me, man.
Yeah.
I think as grown men, we can agree with that statement, but as leaders of men, I think, Braylon, you made a good point. Sometimes discretion is a better part of valor.
Yeah.
And Juwan Howard got caught up in the moment. I don't fault him for it. I can appreciate that, and if I was playing for my coach and he went to bat for somebody that put their hands on me, absolutely love him.
Yeah, it's one of those things where you can tell that there's been something else that has happened between Michigan and Wisconsin. This can't be the first time. I don't see an individual as nice as Juwan. Don't get me wrong. He's had a couple instances in the past. Obviously, you talk about Terjan last year in the coach of Maryland in the Big Ten tournament. They had to restrain, Juwan in that situation. So you do understand that. But for him to get this angry and then you see it to go on, here's why I think Juwan Howard could have helped himself in a situation as it relates to people making suggestions of out for the season or suspend for you or fired or calling for his head. In the press conference is when you kind of get a second to, calm down from the situation that happened on the court. You kind of get a chance to calm down. You get your assistant coaches around you, and you can start to think like, okay, what do I say in this press conference? Where do I come from? He didn't seem remorseful, like, in the moment. Like, it didn't seem because he wasn't.
Right.
But it's about playing the game. You got to know how to play the game, and he didn't get hired as the head coach of Michigan. Michigan's a fickle institution. They're arrogant, they're fickle, and that's why I went there. That's why I'm happy to be a part of it.
I love that.
And that's why I went there, and I'm glad to be a part of that. But you got to play the game when you're at Michigan. I had to learn how to play the game as a player. Juwan has to learn how to play the game as a coach. Because if he went in there, he said, you know what, I don't condone my actions. I shouldn't have put my hands out there. I know I got these players leaning on me. And then he could have tricked the system. I saw that assistant coach put his hand on one of my players, and I saw red, and I apologize for doing so. Like, if he would have came up there from that perspective, more like, you can't do this, I don't condone this, however, whatever. Now you get people watching, because people just always want you to be apologetic for your actions.
Right. He could have controlled the narrative after the game.
Exactly. And that's where I think he lost, because he could have controlled that narrative and it would have helped him. He lost the narrative at the press conference.
Before we get to our guest, Brandon Brown, he's on the line, I just want to bring up, in the previous games, Coach Gard and Coach Howard had a great relationship. I think they had respect for each other. Coach Gard reminds me of what I would do if someone was mad at me and we're in a handshake line. I'd want to politic my case to him. I don't want someone walking away calling me out I want to explain myself. So I'm just going to stick up for Gard in that regard only.
Okay,
that's all.
All right.
And I actually have no problem with that, because I've been in that situation before where there was a miscommunication, or where you knew that someone didn't know exactly what you were doing or what you felt. So you really want to get that point out in that moment. Sorry, I got gummy bears in my mouth. This is another part of my
birthday gummy bears, though. So let's
get birthday. They were birthday gummy bears. But what I will say is, by being a head coach, Wisconsin is another stellar institution. They when they hire, they take their time. They hire. They make sure they got the right guy. Being a part of being the right guy is when you're in this moment, you legitimately have to see with Juwan's energy and know that he doesn't want to shake your hand, and you got to let it go. You got to see, he was coming in as a 6'10 locomotive trying to run by you. You don't stop a locomotive in motion.
Yeah, I just don't know what you thought you were going to gain in
Nothing
that situation
in that
by putting your hands on a grown-ass man. But let's bring in Brandon Brown, publisher of Wolverine Digest for Sports Illustrated, because obviously he has some insight into how the Maize and Blue crew is feeling about this. And
what's up, B?
Brandon, how you doing? And how have your DMs, how have your Twitter mentions and everything been through this? And what's your opinion of it?
Yeah, it's I mean, it's a little crazy. Obviously, yesterday the game was ended. I'm just getting ready to publish my little post-game story. Another loss, bad shooting, and then it's like, whoa, what the hell is going on out there? And then, man, as all you guys were talking, I just found myself, like, nodding because there's so many layers to this. Like, first, happy birthday, Braylon, by the way. I forgot to say that out of the gate.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much. This is a little bit more important than to be there, though.
Yeah, and so Braylon's point about how Juwan, he screwed up in the presser, man. He didn't come off as apologetic or remorseful, so I think that was a problem. Stick, you said, man, if I'm a player for Juwan, I love that. He's going to bat for me. He's got my back. He's defending me. He's sticking up for me. I get that. And then Maz was saying, guard felt disrespected too. Like, look, man, if you're getting ready to go through a handshake line and the other head coach, first of all, isn't at the front of the line, that's a little bit of a message. That's not normal. And then he's just going to dust right by you, and he's going to talk some shit on the – I don't know if I can say
You're okay.
that. Sorry.
You're good.
He's going to talk a little bit on the way by, but not give you any eye contact, not stop and talk, not try to – nothing. Guard didn't need to grab him by the arm. Yes, I agree. What's he going to do by doing that? There's going to be no good that comes from that. But it just lets me see that from all angles of this thing, there's a ton of layers. There's a lot of wrong. That's another thing. There seems to be a lot of people who are trying to find like who is right and who is wrong in the situation. There's a lot of wrong.
I agree.
A lot of wrong.
There's no right.
Across both sides, different players, different coaches, different levels of coaches, the head guys, the assistants, all over the place. There's a lot of people doing things they didn't need to do. And it just the emotions got the best of both guys. I think Juwan comes off looking a little like a baby. I mean, the game was at hand. He's pressing. Guard takes a timeout. Then Juwan fouls. Then he wants to disrespect and not even give him the time of the day and just walk right by him. Then guard puts his hands on. I mean, like, it was just a lot of bad decisions that eventually escalated into some pretty bad stuff, man. That just doesn't have any place in the game. Doesn't need to go on like that out there on the court. And it's just a bad look, kind of all the way around.
Brandon, I got to ask you this question. This is the one that it's the most obvious question that you have to ask in this situation. Where does Michigan go from here? If you're Ward Manuel, you're Mary C. Coleman, interim president of the University of Michigan, where do you go from here? Is this a fireable offense, or is it something that you work past?
I don't think it's fireable. It's bad. I mean, I think depending on the official rules from the Big Ten Conference and from the NCAA are kind of like black and white. It says like there's a 2-game maximum and a $10,000 fine and some things like that unless. And so then like the unless becomes a little bit of a subjective thing. And obviously this is pretty bad, man. I don't think I've ever seen a high-level Division I coach at a very respectable university hit another coach in the head, ever. I don't think I've ever seen that. You might see some of these weirdo dudes in the AAU circuit on some grainy cell phone film get a little dust up or something, but I've never seen it like this at this level. So I don't think it's fireable, but it's pretty bad. There's not really a precedent here. You can't really look at another example of a head coach at a place like Michigan hitting another coach in the head at a place like Wisconsin. You don't really have anything to look at. I don't think it's fireable. Juwan has had a few things here and there that haven't been great, but he's never done anything like this before. I mean, dude, every coach over the course of their career loses their cool at times and does something they shouldn't do. They're competitors. They're getting paid a lot of money. Their whole careers and their livelihoods ride on this stuff. Like, it's a big deal, and they get caught up in the moment. You see it a lot every year. I don't think you've ever really seen it like this. So I don't know what happens. I think a multiple game suspension, maybe it's for the rest of the year. And they got 5 games left, then it's the Big Ten tournament. I would bet on them not making the NCAA tournament at this point, so I don't know how many games that would end up being, but I think fireable's a little too much since, for the most part, he's been a pretty respectable guy, and I feel like a lot of the other coaches in the Big Ten would say that's pretty out of character for him in the big picture.
So with that kind of being out of character for him, one of the things and one of the thoughts that went through my head is, like sometimes when a game's not going right, a coach will get a technical to fire up his team. we got a season that's not really going right for University of Michigan. Is this kind of a strategic play? I know it got heated there, but like just before the punch and all that, could this be like Juwan thinking, all right, my team needs something to galvanize around going into the Big Ten tournament, gearing up for that, because that may be the only way we make the real dance this year? Could this play to their advantage and be something that they rally around?
It might, and I had that thought. I think that's kind of the genesis of the pressing down 16 with 20 seconds to go. It's like, all right, my team hasn't shown a lot of fight or a lot of fire this year. We haven't played very good defense this year. I'm pressing, I'm getting after it till the final horn. And by the way, I'm fine with that. Not every coach is going to do that, but that's within the confines of the game. That's out there on the court. I don't knock Greg Gard for getting a little miffed about it, saying, all right, you're going to press me? Let me take a timeout. Let me get my team set. Let me do this. Then Juwan comes back and fouls. I'm fine with all that. Those are little jabs. That's competitive juices flowing. That's getting a little heated, a little into it, and maybe there's a little jawing after the game, and that's it. That's as far as it should have went. That's as far as I've ever seen it go before. When it gets physical, Juwan tries to disrespect him by saying what he says and walking by, and then Gard grabs him. That's not a smart decision. And then he starts throwing F-bombs around. I don't think that wasn't the plan. No, there's no way Juwan wanted it to go as far as it did.
Because he's brilliant if that's what it was.
Yeah, I mean he's playing chess, not checkers at that point. But no, I do think that was kind of the genesis of the attitude towards the end there, pressing until the very end when you know the game is over, and then the back and forth a little bit with the pressing, the timeout, the foul, then the line, and it just kind of spiraled out of control. But to say that this might galvanize the team a little bit and fire them up for the last 5, I think that's reasonable, and we'll see what it looks like, for the last 5 games. But they need to win a bunch of them, and they're all against good teams, so we'll see how it looks.
We're talking to Brandon Brown, publisher, Wolverine Digest for Sports Illustrated. Brandon, we got to take a quick break, but I really want to keep this conversation going. Can you stick around for like 1 minute?
Absolutely. Yeah, I'm here as long as you guys need me.
Awesome.
Thanks,
so we got more stuff coming up next with Brandon Brown. This is the Woodward Sports Network. My name is Stick. Filling in for Ryan Ermani. That is Braylon Edwards. And Braylon, what show is this?
This is The Bottom Line. I'm 39 and feeling fine.
It took exploring 50 different formulas and hosting countless taste tests, but we believe Gypsy Vodka is the smoothest vodka on the market. Don't believe us? Ask the owners.
We're Mike and Adam Kazanowski with High Five Spirits Distillery. We're in close to about 1,200 locations throughout Michigan. We wanted to create a brand that was geared more towards freedom, love, adventure, and at the end of the day, we really wanted to tell a story that inspired other people to take risks, follow their dreams, whatever that might be.
Big names, bigger opinions. It's The Bottom Line on Woodward Sports.
Man, we went down to this beautiful dealership in Dearborn the other day. I'm talking about Les Stanford. You walk in there, absolutely gorgeous. Their showroom, plus their lot is full of vehicles, and not a lot of dealerships have that right now. So if you're looking to get a new car or you want to trade in your lease, they are the lease experts. And I'm telling you, if you're in the market to buy a new Corvette, those things are absolutely gorgeous, and Les Stanford is the king of Corvettes. So you could go down there and get one. I'm telling you, that Corvette, the new one,
don't they do something like 0 to 60 in
2.6 seconds?
Jesus Christ.
2.6. Like, I don't know who needs to go that fast, but you need to go that fast.
That's how my life is moving. I don't remember turning 38. Here we are.
So Les Stanford, make sure you go to lesstanford.com. You can check out their inventory there, or give them a call, 313-565-6000. It's Les Stanford. Find new roads.
Find them.
Greg, congratulations on the win. Before we talk about the performance, take us through what happened after the game in your eyes.
Well, apparently he didn't like that I called the timeout to reset the 10-second call because we only had 4 seconds to get the ball over half court. And I didn't want to put my backups. I had all my bench guys in the game. I didn't want to put them in that position of scrambling with only 4 seconds. So I took a timeout, and it got us a new 10 seconds and helped them get organized to get the ball in. And he did not like that when he came through the handshake line. So I'll leave it at that, and the tape will show the rest.
Well, Coach, you guys...
That is Wisconsin coach talking about what happened between him and Juwan Howard after the game yesterday. Welcome back to The Bottom Line on the Woodward Sports Network. We have Brandon Brown joining us from Sports Illustrated. Braylon, you got some comments about that comment?
I got to call BS on this, man. I got to call BS, and this is why I have to call BS. You don't want your backup scrambling with 4 seconds. First of all, did you coach them well? Did they come to Wisconsin to learn how to play college basketball? Shouldn't they know what to do? Aren't you guys up 15 points? Is it that big a deal that you have them in it with a full court press with, a couple seconds left in the game? You're not going to be down. Are you style points? Is this something you're looking for? This isn't college football. You don't need style points to get into the tournament. All you got to do is get W's and wins, and you're on your way to a win. Brandon, how much of this is BS? Because he also said something during the press conference interview. He said something along the lines of, and I quote, he was like, maybe he's not familiar with that rule. That sounds a little catty and petty to me.
It's a little bit. It is a little bit. It's this gamesmanship thing I was talking about. Juwan's pressing, so he's like, all right, I'll take a timeout.
Yeah.
I'm cool. Do it. I mean, whatever. That's what I'm saying. That's why I feel like Juwan comes off a little like he's kind of being a baby. Like, dude, if you're going to coach your team hard, you can't get mad at the other guy for doing the same thing. You can't. But guards saying, like, I'm just trying to get my guys set. Nah, come on. You were doing a little bit. And that's fine. And then Juwan comes back in the foul thing, and that's another shot. So, like, so it's like, I don't know. His explanation is, I mean, technically correct. You know, he was trying to get his guys set and organized and not take a 10-second violation. But, I mean, you see this all the time in all levels of basketball. When the game's at hand, you know, the team just dribbles out and takes a shot clock violation and gives the team, you know, the other team the ball. I mean, you see that all the time. So for him to say, I just didn't want to put my guys in that position, I was trying to whatever. He was doing it to send a little bit of a message back to Juwan for Juwan sending a message by pressing. I have no problem with it in either direction. That's why I think the whole thing that broke out afterwards was just uncalled for. I mean, they were both doing a little bit, you know, during the game that technically is fine, but there's a message being sent, and that's part of it. And then it just went over the line.
Brad, I appreciate that. Brad, I got one more question. I'm going to let these guys get involved. I'm going to stop hogging the microphone, as they say. When you watch this now, Juwan Howard was a former player. You look down in Memphis, and Mass talks about this a lot, kind of like this new age of coach in college. There's guys that play, younger players. You know, you look at Penny Hardaway. Penny is right under 50. You look at Juwan Howard. Juwan Howard's right under 50, 48, 47, somewhere in that range. And now, if I'm the NCAA, if I'm, you know, president of institutions, if I'm regents of institutions, and I'm watching the Michigan situation play out, do you think this is going to affect the hiring of fresh out of the NBA basketball coaches, young coaches? Because we are still passionate. You look at the older guy, the safe guy, the self, and coaches like that are safe. They're older. They're far removed. Juwan's still young. He just was in the NBA 5 years ago. He still has that passion of a player, and now he has that passion of a player for his players. Like, is it too close to home to sometimes have these guys be head coaches in NCAA?
I don't think so, because I think some of that's valuable, man. I think some of that was worth a lot when you can. I mean, we've seen it. You know, Juwan's already won a Big Ten championship. He got that locker room. You know, I mean, there were times last year where I thought, like, these dudes would fist fight anybody for Juwan. Like, he created a culture where they went to bat for each other, and you know, Eli Brooks is diving on the floor and losing teeth and stuff. I mean, like, they were going after it, and you could see that last year, the way that the players talked about each other, the way that they talked about the coaching staff, and the success that they had on the court. Now, the difference this year is that they're not winning, and so it compounds some of those things. So now you've got all that high-level energy, that intensity, but it's kind of in a negative way because you're losing and you're frustrated and you might not make the tournament and guys aren't looking and playing as well as they did last year. So I think you just got to be able to keep it in check. You just can't let the fire and the passion and the emotions spill over to a point where you're hitting a dude in the head. You just can't do it. I mean, like, you know, if it had just been the little dust up, you know, grabbing each other by the shirt and some words, and then you separate them and you go to the locker room, this wouldn't even hardly be a story. But when you lash out, man, and you hit a guy, like, you can't do that. You can't do that in any walk of life, in any arena. It doesn't matter if you're a former athlete, if you're competitive, if you're 40, 50, 70, it don't matter. You can't do that. And so that's why it's become such a big story. So I think that passion and that being close to it and being a player's coach, you know, quote unquote, or being able to relate with your guys is extremely valuable if it's packaged up and used the right way. And to this point, it has been. And yesterday it wasn't. And so, no, I don't think it should affect anything. I think you just gotta vet who you're going after. I mean, if you've got, that's what I'm saying. Juwan's never really been described as a hot head. He wasn't a guy who got a ton of technicals in the NBA, or he wasn't a guy who was starting fights out on the court. I mean, I don't think anybody's going to hire Dennis Rodman to coach a team, but you know, I think you got to vet it out a little bit. right. And I think Juwan would have passed all of those tests. I mean, and that's why he was hired. And it just was a bad look yesterday. That's all.
To your point, I actually 100% agree. The only person I will say can hit anybody he wants to because he's up there in age is Bruce Arians, but I digress. I digress.
Whatever he's doing over there, yeah.
Oh, my God.
Hey, Brandon, what happened to this team this year? I mean, obviously guys leave for the NBA, but they never seem to get out of the blocks, this team. And 5 games to go. I personally think if they win 4 out of 5 and win a game or 2 in the Big Ten tournament, I think they're going to the dance. I think they want a Michigan team in the dance. I mean, let's face it, they're a draw, no question about it. But what went wrong with these guys?
Shooting has been bad all year. I mean, I don't know. It's weird. Like when you look at the overall percentage, it's not horrible, but there's been so many games where they lose and they literally shoot in the teens percentage-wise from behind the 3-point line, and that's basketball nowadays. You got to be able to knock down timely threes, and teams that might not have as good athletes or as much depth can win games if they can shoot the 3, and Michigan has run into that a couple times this year, and defense has been porous. Maybe that's starting a couple of freshmen in Moussa Diabate and Caleb Houston that aren't as good on defense as maybe you had hoped. I think Caleb Houston's been a little bit of a disappointment overall. I mean, that's a guy that was being looked at as a top 5 recruit, one and done, go get you 20 a night, and he hasn't done that at all. Diabate's been a surprise at times, but the rotation's been a little weird with him sometimes too. It's been a little disjointed across the board. I think early on there was some motivational things with Dickinson. It looked like he was getting frustrated early when they were dropping some of those early games. He's been really good lately. Took a little longer for Devontae Jones at point guard when you thought you were getting a very seasoned, instant plug-and-play guy, former conference player of the year. And he just didn't acclimate as quickly as Mike Smith did last year, and it hasn't been as smooth with him. So there's been a lot of things, man, and that's why there's been so much inconsistency, because when you've got 6 or 7 issues that have been there at different times throughout the year, any given night, 3 or 4 of them show up and you lose. And on a given night when maybe there's only 1 or 2 of them, you get a win. And when there's a night when none of them show up, you beat Purdue by 24. So it's like
amazing.
It's just been back and forth, and there's been a lot of these issues that have kind of come up and popped up at different times, and it's led to this. And Maz, I'm with you. If they win 4 or 5, that's going to be 4 really good quad 1 wins. It's going to get them close to that 20-win mark on the season, and then hopefully they can make a little damage in the Big Ten tournament, and we'll see. But it's I don't know, man. They got to beat some pretty good teams down the stretch here to get it done.
Yeah, I can't let you go without a little Harbaugh talk. We haven't talked to you since that whole debacle went down. And I see they got the spring game coming up. I think it's in April. Am I not correct? But
April 2nd.
Yeah. What's your take on that whole Harbaugh thing? Bring us up to date on your end and how he can go forward. What kind of year you think they have?
Yeah, I mean, it wasn't ideal. There's no way to slice it. The month of January was kind of a mess, but he's back. I think that's good for continuity. I like moving Sharon Moore into the OC role. I think he's a rising star. I think Grant Newsome is a rising star. He's getting his first chance coaching the tight ends. Verdict out a little bit on Jesse Minter. We'll see. I know he's been a Broyles Award finalist before, but at Vanderbilt, can you really even tell what's going on when you're coaching at Vanderbilt? I don't know. So we'll see what that looks like. But should be some continuity there. They have talent. The offense should be loaded. We'll see what happens at quarterback. But the schedule sets itself up pretty well. They should win a bunch of games. Start 4-0, almost sleepwalking. They should start 4-0 pretty easily, and then that first big test on the road at Iowa week 5. So we'll see. I think they're going to win a bunch, but I think they're going to take some lumps on defense for sure. But I think the offense could and should be better than it was. So. Yeah, excited to see it, man. They're getting their spring football started like an hour ago. Today was the first practice getting going. So,
yes.
Yeah, we're a couple months away from that spring game, and we'll see what it looks like.
Well, Brandon Brown, thank you for joining the Bottom Line this afternoon. Love your insight and love your pulse on what's going on at University of Michigan. And, it gave us something fun to talk about today, so thank Juwan Howard for that. And when the punishment comes down, we'll definitely have to revisit this conversation.
That's right. Thanks so much for having me, guys. Appreciate
it. Thanks, Brandon.
Great
job, man.
Thanks a lot, man.
And before we move off this topic completely, I was just reading a tweet from Dumas Mike, at Dumas Mike. Read Juwan Howard's lips. He said, "Don't touch me. Don't effing touch me." I counted it 6 times that he said that. Sorry, but that's a fair warning in my book. Case closed. And I'll take that even a step further. My dad, growing up, he says, you warn him twice, you hit him the 3rd time.
That's
because
real.
I've warned you twice. And if that's not enough for it to get through your head, don't touch me, then I'm going to have to show you not to touch me. So I saw that tweet and it resonated with me. So good tweet by Dumas Mike there.
And it's we got to get to a break, but everything that you said right there is the same thing as I echoed. 6 times I told you not to touch me.
Right.
Don't put your effing hand on me.
It's
and then
simple.
I got another guy who wants to put his effing hand on my effing player.
Yeah.
I got to beat some effing ass.
I love that. So, yeah, how do you feel about it? Let us know in the chat if you're on YouTube right now. But
we should not be angry. It's Braylon's birthday party.
Well, I was actually going to say this. We're going to also talk about something that really disappointed Braylon this weekend, too.
Oh, my disappointed everybody.
Do you know what that is? We're going to discuss it coming up next right here. My name is Stick, filling in for Ryan Armani. That is Braylon Edwards. This is
The Bottom Line.
What's the over-under? Should I tease? Who is the lock of the night? Make sure you're watching Woodward Bets to get the latest in sports betting and more. Woodward Bets daily on Woodward Sports.
Welcome back to... Oh, sorry.
Thank you.
Planet
Yeah,
Fitness,
welcome
baby.
back to Maz.
Thank you for welcoming me to the Planet Fitness Studios. That's right. That's the home. We are the home of the Planet Fitness Studios here at Woodward Sports. Planet Fitness, the home of the judgment-free zone where you can work out in non-intimidating, judgment-free atmosphere. Membership, they start at $10 a month, and for the Black Card, just $22.99 a month. Black Card members, listen to all of the amenities you get. Unlimited tanning, hydro massage chairs, and total body enhancement, along with access to over 2,000 locations worldwide. And guess what? You can bring a guest with you. It's like a 2-for-1 deal. No doubt about it. Join today or in the club or online at planetfitness.com. Now open in Midtown Detroit, down by the Detroit Pistons Performance Center. Right now, $0 down, $10 a month. Tell them Woodward Sports sent you. It is Planet Fitness. Thank you, Adam.
Welcome back to The Bottom Line, live on the Woodward Sports Network. And thank you for listening to us on the Roar as well. Everybody listening on the app. And for everybody who doesn't watch the live shows but downloads the podcast, thank you guys for that. We are everywhere, so make sure you're following us at Woodward Sports. So, yeah, this
I might
weekend...
need one of those massage chairs Planet Fitness is talking about. I woke up 39 and my groin was hurting, my lower back was hurting a little bit. I was like, is this what 40 looks like?
You'll love this, though. Me and Joey are actually trying to get one of their massage chairs where Maz is sitting right now. That'll be a Planet Fitness massage chair.
The day that happens, the Mazes will be sitting up here, and I'm going to be sitting right down there like somebody else used to.
I don't blame you.
The whole damn show is going to be sitting in massage chairs like, yeah, Juwan Howard. All right, either way, this weekend, a little bit disappointing. Braylon, and it wasn't about my dating life. It was about All-Star Weekend.
Yeah, so check this out. And we were having this conversation talking about the different All-Star games all last week leading up, which one's the best, who has the best skills challenge night. It is clear that the NBA is the worst. NBA is by far the worst. I tune in Saturday. I go over to my father's house, Northfield. Shout out to Dad watching. We'll see him tomorrow. He'll be hosting. Outside of the food, I was pissed. Outside of the food, the camaraderie, the family, I was pissed. You turn this on, and it starts off with the skills challenge. It's the Antetokounmpos who together were abysmal in their shooting attempts. If it wasn't for Giannis, Thanos or Thanasis, however you say his name, I could hoop. I could have played in that game. The rest of the guys that were in that competition, it just was horrible. It looked like they didn't want to be there, like they had to pull their teeth, like they had to say, you know what, if you be in the competition, we'll give you $20,000 and we'll bring your whole family to Cleveland, which isn't that much of an option. But I'm just watching, and the three-point contest never let you down. Three-point contest, because how could it let you down? It's the three-point contest. But the dunk contest, when you watch an All-Star Weekend, like this is since I was young.
Hold on, before you skip that. I thought the three-point contest, it just didn't do it for me this year. You know why, of course.
Steph wasn't in it.
Yeah, because
or
Steph
Klay
wasn't
Thompson.
there.
It's the first time
Or
neither
Klay.
one of them has been in it. Yeah,
Well, I think that's the biggest theme of why All-Star Weekend sucks now. We don't get to see All-Stars compete. We're watching the bench players compete.
Well, I'm going to get into that, but the three-point contest,
It was better than anything else.
I got to push you back on that, because this is the first year that Steph wasn't in it, that Devin Booker wasn't in it.
Yeah.
Like, usually the three-point contest has made up for the dunk contest, because every year you got 5 to 6 studs, and
Yes.
Zach LaVine has been in it the last 4 years. So that's why I say post back a little bit on the three-point contest.
Luke Kennard was in it. It kind of made me pissed off. Because,
I know. I saw Luke Kennard and was like,
just
if
mad
a
at
former
him.
Piston wins, here we go again.
I mean, here we go.
But here's the problem, Az, and this is where it gets deep. When you watch an All-Star NBA weekend, what are you waiting for? Since 1984, when the All-Star came into be in terms of this particular event, you're waiting for the dunk contest, administered by the ABA, and then the NBA, once they merged, stole it. NBA dunk contest, from Jordan to Dominique, to Spud Webb and Dominique, to Vince Carter in 2000, to Zach LaVine, to Aaron Gordon, who got cheated twice, to Aaron Gordon, to Kobe in the warm-up his rookie year, and the list goes to Jason Richardson, shout out to Michigan State, the most underrated dunker in the dunk contest ever, Dwight Howard, Nate Robinson's won 3 times, Kenny Skywalker in 1986.
Spud Webb.
The list goes on, Spud Webb, the list goes on. They understood the assignment. They understood that they were part of something special. Every year that they came into the slam dunk contest, all the contestants, the competitors, they bought something special. They said, I know that I'm going to be mentioned in the likes of Dominique and Michael Jordan. I know I'm going to get mentioned with Vince Carter. I know I'm going to get mentioned with, insert star here. It didn't seem that way. On the weekend that was celebrating the 75th anniversary NBA all-time team. I've never seen Jordan I haven't seen Jordan and Kareem in the same place in a very long time. I haven't seen, some of these stars haven't seen each other. Right. Did you see Jordan when he hugged Dennis Rodman?
It's awesome.
You see Steph Curry. Shout out to Steph, by the way, because Steph and LeBron were both born in Akron Hospital. So the fact that he won MVP and LeBron got the final shot of the game, shout out to Akron and the state of Ohio. But it just didn't seem like they understood the assignment. It didn't seem like they really cared to be what they were a part of. Like when I went to the Pro Bowl, I knew who had come to the Pro Bowl before me. I was honored to be in the Pro Bowl because it meant something to the past. It meant something to why I play football. They just didn't seem like
they
should
have had a touchdown, by the way.
See, I thought if they were going to honor the 75 years, that they should have saved that for the finals. Because I thought it was a wasted effort at the All-Star game, even though it took 40 minutes at halftime to introduce all these people. I thought that's something that should be saved for when everybody's actually engaged in basketball. The All-Star game was nice to give them their roses and give them their flowers at, but those top 75 players deserve to be on the finals stage, not the All-Star game stage.
We'll know if they all going to be alive by the time the All-Star playoffs.
Half of them weren't, man. Damn, man. All the big, did you notice all the big men were dead except 4 of them?
Yeah, George Mikan. You got to go back, man. And so that All-Star game, it just, you got to know what you represent.
Right.
And the NBA has to do something, whether Adam Silver, they got to get involved. You guys got to give a purse. And the purse has to match what these guys
And
make.
they tried that, though. The first quarter is for this charity if you win. The second quarter is for this charity. These guys don't give a damn about. They can write that check any day of the week. No. That's why it didn't really change the game when they did
It's for their charity. It needs to be for the charity of the pockets of Obi Toppin. It needs to be for the charity of the pockets of what's Davis?
Cole Anthony.
Anthony. Cole Anthony. It has to be for them. $2 million. Hey, you know what? Come play $2 million. $2 million, that'll get Zach LaVine back in it this year. That'll get John Moran in the slam dunk contest next year.
Put in cash at half court.
Exactly.
And then they got to walk off.
Like Squid Games.
Yeah.
It takes too long. We're talking about the dunk contest. The dunk contest, it was down to 4 people. It was horrible. Cole Anthony. I don't care about Cole Anthony, first of all. Obi Toppin, I was rooting for him. He's Nick.
Yeah.
I forgot the other 2 guys.
Anytime I can watch Jalen Green suck, I'm a big fan of watching Jalen Green
from
Jalen Green. He's a pretty boy. He likes to get his face out.
He's so glad we didn't draft that guy.
He is just so into himself. By the way, he's a string bean. Yeah. He's still a kid. He's 18 years old.
Kevin Durant.
But it takes too long. You can't have 20 chances to make a dunk.
Yeah.
Don't put your Timberlands on. Wear them to the game if you're going to use them. Don't put them on then.
Well, I'll tell you this much.
It takes too long. It was boring.
Steph Curry wasn't in the three-point contest, but he had his own three-point contest in the All-Star game.
Yeah, he did.
That was an amazing display of shooting.
We'll get back to his All-Star stuff because I'm not through too. Because I agree with Maz. You got to put more mandate. And granted, they hadn't necessarily, because the way what they call an attempt is an actual dunk on the rim. So when he was going through the legs and losing the ball, it's not technically an attempt. But now you change the rules. I agree, Matt. If you throw that $2 million out there, if you put it right at half court, here it is in a case, kind of like Squid Games, where you're looking at $2 million, and you don't have to donate this to your charity of choice. You can take $10,000 and donate to charity, but you get to keep whatever's left after Uncle Sam takes his cut. I'm telling you, man, it'll make you compete harder. And then you tell guys, hey, if you miss or any part of the attempt of your dunk, that counts as an attempt.
That's an attempt.
Any part of your attempt.
How about every time you miss, the money pot gets lower? Put money on every one of those.
There should be, but there should be what's the word I'm looking for? There should be detractions for each individual player.
Penalties.
There are penalties on each individual player. So if a guy that wins has 7 penalties, well, he doesn't win $2 million. He wins 175.
Right. Yeah, keep taking away money every time they miss a dunk.
You saw the judges. The judges were falling asleep.
Dr. J
they were
wasn't even there.
Asleep.
Well, let's keep this conversation going because I know there's a lot more about this weekend and the All-Star weekend. We still got to touch on the Rising Star game that happened Friday night and everything.
Shout out to
Detroit
Kay Cunningham.
representing. That's right.
Detroit.
And we will cover all of that next right here on the Woodward Sports Network. My name is Stick, filling in for Ryan Armani today. Birthday Boy Braylon Edwards is here, and this is
The Bottom Line.
6 dark corners, a driveway and a patio, 5 windows that could become doors. Every house has unique security challenges. Guardian Alarm has more tech, more team, and more ways to help keep them all safe. Get a professionally designed and installed security and smart home system from Guardian Alarm. Sign up today and get a free video device. Guardian Alarm. Smart, right from the start. Call 1-800-STAY-OUT.
Get a shot up. This is for the win.
All of Detroit's sports teams live on Woodward. All of Detroit's sports coverage lives on Woodward Sports. Driving the best in Detroit sports coverage.
Hey guys, it's Sam here with Chili Peppers Tanning. Chili Peppers Tanning is where you'll find the cleanest stations in the D with spotless, sanitized rooms and trained and certified tanning professionals.
Alex, hold on. Sam.
Yo.
I love you, but we're going to train you right now on how to do a proper live read.
Yes, sir.
He was there today.
You were there today.
That's what I was asking.
You
What's up?
smelled the suntan lotion. You saw the beautiful women. You saw the tanning booths, how clean they were, how everybody was having a good time. Just describe your experience that you went there today and look into the camera and do it. I don't want you reading a piece of paper, man. You know this place is awesome.
What did you see, Sam?
You know, what I noticed first was how spacious it was. There was plenty of room for Big D Energy, another show you should be listening to.
The tanning booth?
Yes, there's plenty of space in the lobby. I went back and saw the tanning booths. They all looked amazing. There's plenty of room. There were so many spots. People kept coming in and coming in.
Did you get naked?
I did not get naked. I didn't tan, although I probably need one, but I've learned to embrace my pale. But if I were to tan, I would go to Chili Peppers Tanning.
Tell us about the ladies over there, man.
You know, I have my eye for one lady, and that's my fiance, but...
You can't trip Sam up, Braylon. You can't trip Sam up. You can't try to pull that up. My man knows what he's doing with his fiance.
Well, he was an Olympic hurdler on that one. Excuse me.
But here's one thing I did notice. People would come in and they would see us doing our show, and they'd be kind of confused. But the friendly, welcoming faces at the front desk would make everybody feel like, yeah, come up. Come get tan. And that is my read for Chili Pepper Tanning.
Come on, where was it today?
It was on, okay, we actually...
Where was the new Chili Peppers?
Come on, man.
All right, let's wrap this up.
Yeah,
I'll handle the rest of this. Throw it back to me, Alex. Welcome back to the Bottom Line on the Woodward Sports Network. And yes, Big D Energy was out today at the brand new Chili Pepper Tanning just south of 12 Mile on Woodward. I'm not going to give him a 5-minute live read. I mean, come on. It's supposed to be 30 seconds.
Peppers got to pay more money to get that long of a read.
Chili Peppers was great to us today. D-Mac was out there. So many people love him. Neil Rule. So, yeah, if you want to go to a Chili Peppers Tanning, brand new one on Woodward in Berkeley, make sure you head there today and get some sun in you. It feels good, actually. You soak up some of that vitamin D. Yeah, exactly. So we were talking about the All-Star game before break. Yeah. I think we were all disappointed with this weekend in general.
It was horrible.
We were mostly talking about the three-point contest and the dunk contest, but what did you think of the actual All-Star game?
The celebrity All-Star game was boring too. Going back to Friday, but the All-Star game was, ever since they went to that format, whereas they do first 2 3 times. The first number, they get an amount of money. That team, be it KD, be it LeBron, they get an amount of money to donate to their favorite charity. Then the first to the second number, same thing. They get an amount of money to donate to their favorite charity. And then the third one is 163. You play to 163. And I think when they started that is around that game where I think Russell Westbrook was MVP. He had 52 points, and they scored 200 points. So they tried to make it more serious. Like you watch an MLB game, MLB All-Star games are always close. NHL hockey games are always close. So the 163 does get you playing there. But, man, that Steph Curry, he's a bad man. Jesus Christ.
It's a cheat code, man.
Like, it got to the point Like when he did, obviously, the one from half court pretty much, and shout out to Steph Curry, 50 points, he becomes All-Star Game MVP. Kobe Bryant, All-Star Game MVP. The first All-Star Game Kobe MVP that there's been no better person to get it than Steph Curry.
First time for him.
First time. Who actually was born in Akron. Same hospital that LeBron was born in, so he's technically an Ohio guy, so it's good to see him win at home. You saw that coming from Steph, though. You saw it coming. You look at last year's All-Star game, he was rocking and rolling. They didn't give him the Finals MVP. They didn't give him the All-Star game MVP. Gave it to Damian Lillard. Then you look at what happened this season. He broke the record, but then everybody's been talking about his shooting. He's in a slump. Russell Westbrook is shooting better field goal percentage than him. So everybody's been kind of on him again. And then it's Trae Young's in the game for the first time. And he's like supposed to be the next Steph. Right. He's the young guy. He's the new Steph. He, in the words of Michael Jordan, and I took that personally, he put on a freaking clinic. Usually the shots that he makes like that, it's before the game starts, and he goes into a little bit of a slump. That one he shot from half court, when he turned around, when that ball went in, he was already on the other side of the court. Like, it's ridiculous.
And Giannis was looking at him like, where you going? Where you going? Then he saw the ball go in. It was very fun to watch, man. Yeah. I loved the game.
Yeah, we've seen Steph Curry do that, though, in the regular season, too, in games that matter.
Turning
just turning around. Yeah, I'm not talking about 16 three-pointers. I'm talking about the shoot and turn, because he did it multiple times in the All-Star game, too. He had a corner shot where he turned around, and he asked the fan, that going in? That going in? Then it goes in. Like,
you know what else was cool about it?
How confident do you have to be in your skill set to be that?
I'm glad you asked that. Before I answer that question, the one thing I love about this, too, Stick, is it wasn't forced. Like his shots, he had 16 made threes. He had 50 points total, but it wasn't forced. It was within the game. Like maybe a couple of those ones he kind of dribbled in and out and then shot it, but it was regular shots. For him, it was. Right. It was in the game. It wasn't forced. It didn't like a guy that was playing by himself. He was out there rolling, but it was in organic nature. Now you asked, what ask questions you asked? I'm over talking about Steph. I forgot. The thing I like when he got the MVP, he took a second to talk about how much work goes into that.
I bet.
Yeah. Because what happens is so many kids, they see this and then you get dumb idiots to blame Steph. Oh, Steph ruined the game because now you got kids shooting from half court. Well, you coach the team. You should tell your player he's not that good. He can't shoot that shot. Steph can shoot that shot because ever since he was 5, 6, 7 years old, he says, I was working with my dad. I was in the gym. I was putting up 200 threes a game. A day, 200 threes a night. He's been working at this craft for a very long time. Everybody sees the results. And that's what I call the world we live in now, whether it's Instagram or whatever else. Everybody wants that final product that they see on Instagram and stores. They want the money, they want the cars, they want the success, they want the women that come along with it, they want the family to pick a house, all that. But they don't want to put in that work. Steph wasn't afraid to put in work for 30 years. He's here because of 30 years. I got to go to the gym. If I want to shoot from here, I got to practice from here every day. So I'm glad he said that so people can listen. He's not just out there. He's working to be out there.
Yeah, and Steph even had to put in more work than your typical NBA player, too, because of his size and what they said about him coming out of Davidson, that he wasn't going to be able to handle it. And he had bad ankles the first couple of years, too. So everything that he's accomplished is because of massive work ethic.
Can I say something about Steph Curry?
Please.
He's not is he the 16th greatest player that they mentioned? He's in the top 16, I think.
Right.
To me, he's top 5.
Ooh, Maz. And that's coming from Maz.
Exactly. Maz is Mr. Nostalgia.
Right.
He's top 5,
Explain that to us, Maz.
There's nobody that shoots the ball like this kid.
Ever.
It's called basketball. Okay? It's called basketball. This guy... There's nobody like him. There's nobody ever was like him. There's nobody. Reggie Miller, a phenomenal shooter.
Can't hold his jockstrap.
Takes his hat off to the guy. Sam, you're laughing at me? How old are you?
No, I'm not laughing. Actually, I agree that Reggie Miller can't hold Steph Curry's jockstrap when it comes to shooting, but my response would be tell Steph to win one finals MVP in the 3 finals he won. You got to accomplish some things. You can't just be the best shooter ever.
Just because he's not named MVP doesn't mean he wasn't MVP. That's
Kevin Durant was MVP in those 2 finals.
Yeah,
that's a vote. Just watch his career. Watch where this kid came from Davidson. Nobody even freaking wanted him. He comes here. His dad was Del Curry. Del Curry was a phenomenal shooter. This kid has everything that you want. I don't want to watch any other basketball player. You can watch LeBron James all you want. I'd rather watch Steph Curry play basketball.
Yeah, his handles are great. His shooting is great. You can tell he has fun while he's playing the game. And I think that you can tell when Steph's having more fun, he plays better. And that's why he shows out at All-Star games, because he's loose.
Hey, I tell you like this. When that mouthpiece gets loose, you're in trouble.
Yeah.
Like when the mouthpiece gets loose for Steph Curry, you know he's about to do something. I saw why you got upset. I can see why you would get upset, Sam. You say like, oh, come on, not 5. And I'm with you. He doesn't deserve to be in the top 5 if we're just talking about what they've done, what they've accomplished. He doesn't deserve to be in there. I get that. But I also can understand why Maz would put him in there. Because you talk about influencing players. Like, he's the most influential player in the NBA since Michael Jordan, and it's not close. So if you want to put him in there in terms of everything, I understand that. But you just got to watch the work. It's fun to watch. Nobody has ever been able to do anything like Steph. Nobody will ever do anything like this moving after.
I got a question for you, Sam. So you take Steph Curry off the Warriors, right? What does that team look like for the past 7 to 10 years?
No championships, I tell you that.
No championships. Kevin Durant would have never been there. And just for the record, I want to clarify: if you want to put Steph Curry top 10 to 12, I'm okay with that.
There's
top
Klay
5,
Thompson right there.
It's just too high.
I understand that we can't play the what if game, so
there's so many great
I
players.
won't go there. There are so many great players, but Sam, don't forget when they had that 73 and 9 year, KD wasn't on that team. When they won their first championship, KD wasn't on that team. And if Draymond Green doesn't get suspended, and Andrew Bogut, since you want to play the if game, doesn't get hurt and out the rest of the series, Cleveland Cavaliers would have came back from 3-1. They would have been 2 chips without Kevin Durant.
Hey, I honestly think that LeBron was going to win that 2016 title no matter what, but that's beside the point.
Yeah,
but
he rode
Steph
Kyrie's coatails to the finals.
Oh,
That's
come
fine.
on.
Andrew, come on. You know Kyrie won that damn final.
He made one shot.
Soon as Andrew Bogut got hurt in Game 5, they started going into the post, and that's when everything got easier because there was no post present. And then Draymond Green didn't play in Game 6,
Draymond
so it was
screwed
easier. with the nut shot, it definitely was his fault. I'm not saying it wasn't his fault, but
that was a hell of a series.
It was.
Hell of a series.
It was. The Finals MVP was great, man. Kyrie Irving.
Well, Kyrie did save that game.
Struck a nerve.
I'll tell you this. I'll put him like this. He's my #1 all-time favorite basketball player. There you go. I make my own list.
And that's
what
honestly,
I'm talking about,
like,
Maz.
if it was a 20-year-old making that statement, I'd be like, yeah, you've only ever seen Steph Curry.
And
But
that's
Maz
fair.
making that statement,
It says a lot
there's
more.
a lot of context to it.
It says a lot more. Like, whenever you talk about greatest basketball players, like, whoever your era is who's going to be. Like, you have this argument, LeBron and Michael. The guys are saying Michael. I'm 39. I'm saying Michael, but the guys that are 20, 25, 30,
LeBron.
they're saying LeBron. And I get it. They should say that.
Yep. It's all about what you've witnessed and what you've seen. And we got to witness some decent defensive football here for the Lions this past season. And they ranked #1 in one specific category. And we're going to discuss
They
that.
did?
Yeah. #1 in
what?
defense and something.
It was it a good thing? Was it penalties?
We'll talk about that coming up next, right here on The Bottom Line. My name is Stick, filling in for Ryan Armani. Braylon Edwards is here, Maz is here, Flannel Sam, and of course, Alex.
Yes, sir.
And we'll be right back. This is
The Bottom Line, and the bottom line is Cade Cunningham is your Rising Stars MVP.
Life is full of hard choices. We're here to make one of life's biggest decisions as simple as possible. My name is Christina Gennari, and for over 20 years, I've helped hundreds of families buy and sell homes. We cover all of Metro Detroit and more, from large luxury homes to starter homes. We will work hard to make sure that you get the home of your dreams. So if you're in the market today or even thinking about buying or selling in the future, make the obvious choice. Christina Gennari, the obvious choice in real estate. Visit us at soldchristina.com today.
Follow us everywhere. Just search Woodward Sports on YouTube, Facebook, Twitter, Twitch, IG, and more.
Hey, everybody, it's Maz for the Folding Warehouse at Hamtramck. Great guest hosts there. The guy that invented the game, Chris Hutt. Make sure you go to see him. He knows every single rule of folding because he invented the game. His wife, Noni, is there, too. Great hosts. Make sure you tell him Woodward Sports sent you. Throw football at bowling pins. That's how fun it is. You can do it by yourself, with some friends, family, any way you want to do it. 2 ways to play: $10 unlimited open play, or you can have a private lane reservation, up to 10 people on a lane for 2 hours at $120. That's all it'll cost you.
Do they do birthday discounts?
Yeah, they got birthday discounts.
We need
of
to go
course.
there again,
If you tell them that Maz sent you, you'll definitely get a birthday discount. Guaranteed.
Charge you more.
Tell them. All right. And here's another thing: if you want to have a good drink, you want to have some food, they got it all for you, because they've got multiple full bars, over 100 beers, a $2 mystery beer machine. You can bring your own food in, have a picnic, do whatever you want, or have it delivered.
I love it.
Right, Al May? We had some pizza that night. That was fun.
Shout out to Happies.
Shout out to Happies for that night. Anyway, it's the Folding Warehouse. Get your fold on. Check them out at foldingwarehouse.com.
Welcome back to the Bottom Line on the Woodward Sports Network. Thank you to everybody listening to us right now on the Roar. We appreciate you. Everybody on YouTube, Twitter, Twitch, all of the platforms. Make sure you're following at Woodward Sports. And I teased it before the break. The Lions defense was #1 in one category this year.
It's awesome.
Glad we're #1 in something. Was it positive or was it negative?
Positive.
I don't know, honestly. Like it's good and it's bad in typical Lions fashion. But the Lions defense was ranked least predictable in the NFL.
Look at that.
So that means
#1.
They had no idea what the hell we were doing at any point in the game. Are we going to blitz? Are we going to send 3? Are we dropping into zone? Are we going to run man coverage? Are we sending 4?
Right.
Like, what are we doing? And Braylon, you could probably speak to this better than anybody, because you've had to prepare for other defenses. You've had to study film on other defenses.
Yeah.
Has this ever been a topic of discussion inside a locker room that you were like, hey, man, these guys are very unpredictable? And would that be a benefit or a detriment?
2 things. One, this looks like an EKG machine. I'm trying to read this. I'm like, okay, now where's my vitamin D levels at now? But it can go both ways. A lot of times when you're playing against a team, a defense that's unpredictable, it's tough. It's tough to know know what they do. It's tough to know when they do certain things. If they're unpredictable, they always keep you off balance. So that means you're trying to guess when you run your plays. I mean, obviously you can start breaking those teams down by having success early in the game so that you can control their narrative. But if you can't do that, it takes you off balance. You don't know when to call certain plays. You know, if they're showing you one look, they're going to do another one. That is a tough thing to play against. But on the other side, it also shows you it's just like on offense. And I go back to the Lions playing against the Rams. They threw everything, as Matt likes to say, including the kitchen sink at the Rams. That means fakes. That means all type of sneaks. That means all type of magic plays and trick plays and whatever have you, Houdini and all.
They emptied the book.
They brought all that out there. That's the same as showing so many looks on defense. When you don't trust your defense fully, you got to show them a bunch of different looks, because you don't want them to key in on what you're doing, because your defense, you don't have necessarily that edge rusher that you want to have. You don't have necessarily that Mike linebacker that can control it like Ray Lewis can control for the Ravens. So as you're waiting for these players to happen, be it free agency, be it in the draft, which is up and coming, now you got to show a bunch of different looks, so it helps you keep them off balance and gives you a little bit of an edge.
Yeah, I like I said, I don't know if it's good or bad. Like
at least we're
it's
#1.
number one.
That's what I'm happy about.
I'll take it.
We did it.
We're #1. Yeah, good job by Aaron Glenn.
#1.
He got the most out of that defense. It's a no-name defense. He got the most out of it, and lots of injuries to boot. You know what? I love that Alex Anzalone came over from the Saints, and they're not going to re-sign him. I thought he did a hell of a job while he was here, but obviously they're looking ahead. They're going to be drafting guys. I'm not sure, what's going to happen with Jeff Okudah going forward. But let's face it. This defense held together with spit and shoe polish. Did a hell of a job for what they had. Aaron Glenn interviewed for several head coaching jobs because he did a hell of a job. Great schemes, and hell, let's see how it goes from going forward.
And like I said, it can go either way, because I'll tell you this. When I played for the Browns, we were a defense that ran a lot of different looks. We were a defense that ran a lot of different disguises. And we had a pretty good Mike linebacker in DeQuell Jackson. DeQuell Jackson, a couple-time Pro Bowlers with the Colts. But we ran a ton of different looks, man. We brought cover 2, 2-switch zone, spy, cover high 5. We played a lot of different looks, and we couldn't win games. On the other end, I played against the Patriots a couple times. Patriots ran a lot of different looks, especially early on in that 2002 to about 2008 range. They ran a ton of looks. and they had a ton of success. So it can work on both sides.
Yeah, I think at the very least what it does is it makes your opponent work harder, right? It makes them prepare harder. It makes them spend time in places that they probably wouldn't have if you were just a predictable defense. All right, it's the wide 9. We know we got to get our offensive linemen out there to make sure that they don't pin the quarterback. But when you're setting up to play the Lions, apparently this year it was, we don't know what the hell these guys are going to do, so we got to prepare for A, B, C, D, E, all the way through Z.
You saw that in Ann Arbor this year. You know, when you played when Don Brown was here, when Don Brown's defense, you know what he was going to do. He was going to blitz and play man-to-man. Like, that's what he was going to do, game in and game out. Now, when we played teams like Indiana, when you played teams like Rutgers, it worked because we were better all around terms, player to player. But when we used to do that stuff against Michigan State, when you do that stuff against Penn State, when you do that stuff against Ohio State, they know and they play better. Insert McDonald. They threw tons of looks out there this year, and it confused most of the opponents that Michigan played against, except for Georgia.
Alex, can you throw that graphic back up? Because I want to see where the Patriots were on this chart, because I'm a big Bill Belichick fan. I mean, everybody should be a big Bill Belichick fan. And one of the things that he does that I really love, if he coaches to the opponent. And look, Bill Belichick and the Patriots are almost dead last on this, which is shocking to me because honestly, where I was going with this is I like that we're unpredictable because what that shows me is the coaching staff is also coaching to the opponent every week. We're not just saying, this is our system, this is all that we can do. It's, okay, you guys want to attack us this way? We're going to throw this at you. This team's a running defense. We're going to switch up and run a 5-4 or something like that. So that's where I was going with it. I'm actually shocked to see Bill Belichick that low on the defensive side.
Well, look at what they did this year. Look at how they played defense. They had Matthew Judon came in. He didn't play last year because of COVID restrictions. He plays this year, and he plays amazing. Like, he played amazing last year. I mean, no, he was a free agent picked up this year, but the couple players that played last, J.C. Jackson played this year. They were great on defense for a 10-game stretch. Now, out of that 10 games, they won 8 of them, but they were great 10, 11 games. If you got something that's successful for you, why change it? And that's what you saw this year. Teams didn't score a lot of points on them. Outside of the Dallas Cowboys, nobody really scored a ton of points on these guys. So if it ain't broke, don't fix it.
Hey, Dan Campbell he put together a great staff. We all talked about that all year round. So he made the right choices.
Well, and that may be part of why we were so unpredictable too, is because we were just tinkering all year long trying to get it right. Like bringing up unrestricted free agents like Jacobs and stuff like that. Like, they're constantly trying to figure out where to place
That kid was a great find.
Oh, that's an amazing find.
Blows his knee out, which is a killer. I hope he can recover. Love to see him play again this year.
Yeah, well, I mean, the injury rate in the NFL is 100%. It's just when.
Especially for the Ravens. No, you're 100% correct. Like, every time they're having to switch the rotations up because guys are getting hurt. Injuries plagued the Detroit Lions a lot. Hell, the one game, I don't even think we had 22 guys available. The one game we played in this year was at Denver. It's a Denver Broncos game.
Right.
So with that being said, when you keep switching up, your strong point keeps changing. So you have to switch to your strength. Derek Barnes was having a couple good weeks, so they made the strength. The Mike linebacker, Omari Oruwariye is probably Defensive Player of the Year for the Lions.
Yeah,
I would make him Defensive Player of the Year, so you know he was your best corner. So on that side, you play strength. You tend to play a little more man because he's a better corner on that side. You tend to help the other side because he's not as good. So you just keep having to switch it up when you get injuries. Hopefully this year we can see, it's a good draft. We can see a couple free agent pickup, and we can see consistency in the injury department.
I like that. And we got to mention the Lions parted ways with a couple other coaches. Linebacker coach Mark DeLeon and then Dom Capers left to go to Denver. And we were just talking. Did you play with Dom Capers? Or?
Dom Capers, no, I didn't. I played against him a couple times. I mean, he was in Green Bay. He was in Houston with the Texans. Like, I think he was a coach of the Texans when I got drafted.
First coach of the Panthers.
And first coach of the Panthers.
Got into the NFC Championship game.
And it's funny, the guy he coached was on the coaching staff as well, and that was Mark Brunell.
That's right.
Yeah, you said the Panthers. I'm tripping. That would have been.
They also went that same year.
Sam Mills would have been their first player, their first star. Sam Mills. Who finally got into the Hall of Fame this year.
I was telling Braylon, I used to use Dom Capers' defensive playbook on Madden. You know how you could select different playbooks? I love Don Capers' defense. I love Don Capers' defense. Yeah. So he'll be in Denver. The linebacker coach, Mark DeLeon, is also gone. So the Lions making some moves. We knew that was going to happen in the coaching staff through the offseason.
There's good moves to be made, though. You look at the linebacker play last year, it wasn't necessarily the best. You saw games where Derek Barnes was pretty good towards the end, but he also had a lot of games in there where he was very inconsistent. So you look at Dom DeLeon, and say, hey, you know what? We're trying to shore up a thing. Like right now, our defense is our strong. Well, our offensive line will be our strong point when Ragnar comes back. But the defense was a strong point for the Lions all year. So now you're like, how can we make this defense that was pretty good with these fill-in players, as they call them? We like to call them our Lions. Oh, linebacker play wasn't that good. Boom, insert guy that we believe can match up with what Aaron Glenn is doing. So I like it. You're still moving in a forward direction.
I love it. And more football talk coming up next. Braylon, you went to the Combine, didn't you?
I did. 2000 February. Actually, it's this time last year. I think my birthday was the day before I went to the Combine.
All right. Well, I got some questions about the Combine, and there's some troubles going on in the NFL Combine right now. Some people are complaining. We're going to talk about that coming up next right here on the Woodward Sports Network. My name is Stick, filling in for Ryan Ermani today. Braylon Edwards in the building.
Me, man.
I got presidential trivia coming up.
Ready.
Mr. President coming
Bring
up.
It.
We'll be right back. This is
Bring it.
The Bottom Line, where I'm 39 39 in Spanish.
You don't have to go to the beach, man. You don't have to get your butt crack full of sand. You just need a little chili peppers, man, to get that glowing beach chili peppers tan. Woo!
With 26 locations in the Metro Detroit area and more coming, Chili Peppers Tanning is where you'll find the cleanest salons in the D. Join the Pepper Club for the best deals on unlimited tanning. Head to chilipepperstanning.com.
You just need a little chili peppers, man.
Putting on a show here, and that's how you answer. We love our sports. We just wish they'd love us back. Detroit sports for Detroit sports fans. Woodward Sports.
Over the past decade, SMA has been leveraging relationships as it relates to former athletes, as well as notables such as actors, entertainers, all around the space of mental health and addiction abuse awareness. Literally, I have been working with SMA and Sean Jordan, NFL alumni now, for the past 5 years to do great work. We work with Detroit Wayne Integrated Health Network. We work with Oakland County Health Network, and what we are trying to do is give answers. We are trying to provide people a safe space to come and talk and learn more about mental health, more so the destigmatization of mental health. Right now, go to sportsma.com. That's thesportsma.com. If you have any questions around these areas, we are here to help. We are here to guide you. That is thesportsma.com. And also tune in, because the sports marketing agency is working with Woodward Sports to create the first podcast that is This Is the F Word, and the F word is for fentanyl. Remember, that is thesportsma.com.
Yeah, and that their first podcast is recording tomorrow, by the way, too. So
there we go.
Yeah, the F Word coming to Woodward Sports, and that's where we're live right now. My name is Stick, filling in for Ryan Ermani. Braylon Edwards' birthday party going on right now on the air. We got Maz, we got Sam, we have Alex in here. What's up, Maz? You look like you got something to say.
I got the first presidential trivia.
Okay.
For Braylon.
Shit.
I think we even have a little open for it. I don't know about an open, but we do. Do we have a picture for it, Alex?
Hey, look at Braylon.
It's Braylon's presidential
Hey, you know what I love
trivia.
about this? You know what I love about this? I always wanted there to be a black man on Mount Rushmore. I finally made it.
Look at
I'm
you.
on Mount Rushmore.
That is awesome. I can't wait to visit that. All right, here we go.
The Black,
Braylon.
the Black Hills.
Question number one for Braylon Edwards, the presidential expert. And you can answer as well there, Stick. Which president survived an assassination attempt 69 days into his term?
To Reagan?
Ronald Reagan is correct.
Go. Ronald Reagan.
Ding, 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 ding.
It was outside of the Hilton Hotel, if you want a little extra on that.
Sam, you got a ding ding?
John Hinckley?
Yeah.
There we go.
The Hink Master.
I know a little
The
something.
Hink Master.
The Hink Master. Okay, this one is for you as well there, Bray.
Okay.
Which president lived the longest? It's kind of a trick question.
You said it's a trick question?
Because he's still living.
Oh, you talking about Bush?
No.
Jimmy Carter.
Jimmy Carter?
Jimmy Carter.
Yeah, Jimmy Carter.
Ding! All right, I'll give you that
Jimmy Carter.
one.
Jimmy Carter's what now? He's 90,
He's in his 90s.
98, 99.
Who is the only president to be born on 4th of July? It's a complete crap
Thomas
shot.
Jefferson.
Thomas Jefferson? No. This guy had the best, what's the best? This is a good way I could describe it to you. He had the best presidential
running.
Not nickname, but
slogan.
Slogan, yes. Best presidential slogan.
Teddy Roosevelt?
No, it's Calvin Coolidge. Keep cool with Coolidge.
Born on 4th of July. I wasn't expecting questions like this.
And I'll give you one more, and then I'll give you more later. Which president introduced the Social Security program?
Oh, come on, man. FDR.
FDR. You got it, brother. There you go.
Baby, FDR.
And we're not even highlighting Braylon's best skill set when it comes to presidents. You just say the number, he knows them, which is wild to me.
I got that too.
Yeah, Braylon, your brain is phenomenal.
Hey,
I could not figure out any of that stuff when I was in high
guys,
school.
Man. Appreciate
All right, you know your vice presidents, right?
Okay, I don't really care too much about them. No, I'm joking. I know a little bit. a little bit.
Who was the vice president for Franklin Delano Roosevelt?
Truman.
Correct.
Truman. Come on, man. That's what we do.
Man.
How many presidents were assassinated, man?
Ooh.
Abe Lincoln and McKinley. 2.
The JFK?
Oh, JFK, my favorite. My favorite assassination.
3.
You're what?
Well, no, my favorite president.
Oh, okay. I was like, what?
I was like,
well, that's the show for today, folks.
I said, man's got a little dark right there.
I love JFK. That's my guy.
4 presidents got assassinated.
I'm missing one?
McKinley got assassinated in Buffalo, and then JFK in Dallas, and then Abe at the Ford Theater. Garfield. See, the problem was James Garfield got shot at the train station, but he didn't die for another 2 months because of all the stabbing trying to get the bullet out. But they still call it assassination.
Yeah, I mean, he got shot.
He
died.
did, and the bullet was still in there when he died, so there it is.
The magic bullet.
The old school way of getting bullets out is just
dig
insane.
until you find it.
Yeah, oh, yeah, found it, and just rip it out.
By the way, don't mind the rust on the utensils.
Yeah. God,
don't mind that.
The fact that the human race even made it is phenomenal to me.
I think about
that all the time.
That stuff is barbaric when you watch these old documentaries where they're talking about the Civil War, talking about how they kind of dealt with the medical side of things during the war. Oh yeah, just bite on that and cut his leg off.
Yeah, just throw a tourniquet on it. We're gonna cut your leg off real quick.
Here, have a swig of this.
Right.
Who was the heaviest president?
Taft.
That's right.
Taft.
That's Theodore's boy, man.
That's the dude that could barely fit in the bathtub, right?
Correct.
Yeah.
I think he got stuck in there, actually.
And that's what
that was the story.
He did.
I know.
Did. That's what Theodore Roosevelt got mad at him because all he did was golf. The biggest president, all he did was golf. He didn't care about politics, the country, or anything. All he cared about was getting suited. He was very clean with his suits and playing golf.
And trying to get out that damn bathtub.
Oh, man, he's still in there right now. His bones are
and DoorDash.
Well, speaking about guys that aren't fat, they do this thing. It's called the Underwear Olympics, also known as the NFL Combine.
Oh, man.
Braylon, you were in the Combine.
Olympics.
You've never heard it called the Underwear Olympics?
You know what's funny is I was a part of that first kind of era where guys were getting down to the naked to run. Like I remember, I think it was a year before mine, which was 04, was the first time you saw guys in tights and they had the tank tops on. And next year at Pro Day, I ran in just tights at my Pro Day. I went to the Combine, I didn't compete.
Okay.
Except the bench press.
So the Combine's going on, starting, but they just let these players know that it's going to be taking place in a bubble. And there has been quite a pushback because all these guys prepared to go there. They set up their hotel rooms. Right. They got their family there. They got their trainers coming. And now all of a sudden that's not allowed to happen. It says unless the NFL and the Combine agree to ease those restrictions, allowing players access to their full team of coaches, trainers, ATCs is all in the past. Many top prospects will only do medical evaluations next month in Indy. So it's not going to be like the full Combine where they're running 40s, where we get to see the arm strength test, which I absolutely love to watch. Like a couple years ago when Jacob Eason was coming out. Didn't become a good pro, but dude, that guy looked like a Neanderthal. He could throw the ball 80 yards. It was so fun to watch that guy in the Combine. I love that kind of stuff, and we're not going to get it this year.
Yeah, I mean, I understand that, sir. I understand the necessariness to be very safety protocol, based. But if that's the case, what you're going to see is you're going to see a lot of guys pull back. You'll see a lot of guys just wait to their pro day. I mean, the majority of the major schools, everybody goes to their pro days anyway. Like Michigan's pro day this year, you'll have all 32 teams will have a representation at Ann Arbor for the pro day. Insert Ohio State, insert Oklahoma, Notre Dame. The big guys I'm cool. This is more so going to be for those tweener guys, like the guy like Derek Stingley and Hamilton. They don't have to go to Indianapolis. Like that's not going to change where they get drafted. This will be for guys like the quarterbacks that are trying to sneak into that first round. This will be some of those players that are late first rounders that want to be, first, like higher up in the first round pick. Guys that are second rounders that want to sneak into that first round, or guys that just want to show you who they are. Like we don't know who the hell these guys are and why they made the Combine, but I don't understand why they're making it so hard. I don't understand why they're making it so different. Nobody else has had protocol like this for other events. I think this is a bad move on the part of the NFL, and it's going to cause a pushback. Other guys aren't going to go.
Yeah, to me, what's also interesting about it, and I think a lot of it had to do with like a guy like Jerry Jacobs falling to the Lions in restricted free agency after he didn't get drafted, right? Or, just becoming a free agent because he didn't get drafted. And if these NFL scouts aren't getting a good looks at guys that are fringe guys like that, there's going to be a lot of undrafted players this year that you can kind of pluck out and maybe have some diamonds in the rough because they didn't get to show off their 4.4 speed at the combine. They didn't get to show off their vertical leap. They didn't get to show off their hands and how they could run the shuttle drill and stuff like that, because that's where a lot of these fringe players are found and brought up. So to me, it could actually help the pool of free agents after the draft.
Not only that, though, you also want to see how people react, how people respond, how players get after it when the competition level as well. Like, anybody can be good in the comfort of their own home. Like, I went to the University of Michigan, so when they came to Pro Day, Oosterman Fieldhouse, of course I'm going to run good there. Like, this is where I've played for 4 years, like working out at Michigan. Like, of course I'm going to play good here. It's very comfortable. Like, I know the quarterbacks, I know the system, I know the graphs. I see my mom, my dad, and my brothers on the sideline watching and saying, hey, oh yeah, I got you, I got support. It's different when you're in Indianapolis. It used to be the RCA Dome, now it's Lucas Oil Field. It's different when, you're up on the block and Chris Olave runs. And now you went to Houston and you're trying to prove you're better than Chris Olave. So now, what do you run? Here's the catching drill. Guys are catching passes. Guys are running routes. I said I'm a better route runner than Wilson from Ohio State. Well, now I got to get my butt up there and I got to prove it. So that's the one thing you won't see is that competition piece. Guy goes out there, drops a 70-yard throw. Guy says, hey, you know what? I can do it too. And he drops a 68-yard throw. That means, no, you can't. So that's the thing you're going to miss is that competitiveness back to back to back.
Yeah. Well, the Combine is actually trying to break itself away from the NFL so it can make its own rules. Right now, the NFL is still running the rules. So if the Combine can take it over, then they don't need a bubble. They can do it any way they want. Because that's what these kids want to bring their guys with them. Like, let's say take Tom Brady, for instance. He wants to bring his trainer. Well, they're saying you can't do that. It's just going to be the athletes only in this bubble. You're going to go from your hotel room to Lucas Oil Field and back and forth. You're not going to have your entourage with you. And that's what the agents are saying. You better change that rule or I'm not letting my guy come there.
I'm actually on the team with the Combine in that regard. Like, you don't need your guy at the Combine. When I went to the Combine, now granted, I didn't run the 40, I didn't run routes, but I did go talk to the owners, I did talk to the teams, so they could see that I wrote plays on the board so they knew where my level was at. I took testing and I did the bench. Okay, I did do the bench. But the guy I was training out with in Denver, Derek Touche, shout out to Derek Touche, the guy I trained with for that, I didn't need him on Pro Day. I didn't need him at the Combine if I was going to be there. I didn't need him to work me through the same process that I do every morning since the time the year ended to the time of the Combine. I didn't need him to tell me what stretches to do. I didn't need him to tell me how to warm up. I didn't need him to tell me what to eat in the morning. I didn't need him to tell me these are the good stretches or the good drills to do before this event. These are the good drills to do before this set, run, set, jump. I didn't need that guy for those 4 days. So I agree with the Combine on that. You don't need to bring your guy in for those 4 days. I disagree with that. I mean, with the NFL pushing back on that.
Well, the Combine's moving forward, and we're going to, see some film out of it. Hopefully the Lions are there taking great notes. But we got
Is Rich Eisen still going to run the 40? Is that in question? That's why I tune in.
I hope so.
Hey, remember Tom Brady's picture from the Combine?
Oh yeah.
And
speaking of Tom Brady, somebody thinks he's going to be playing in the NFL, and we need to talk about that coming up next. Plus, the Steelers have made some moves. Plus, some other coaches are doing some things in the NFL. We're going to talk about all of that coming up right here on the Woodward Sports Network. My name is Stick, filling in for Ryan Ermani. This is The Bottom Line. That is Braylon Edwards, and I stole your line, so one more time, Braylon, what is this?
This is The Bottom Line with Stick and Edwards, filling in for Ryan Ermani.
Everything that we've hoped for, finally.
He's going deep, right side. Oh, that is Edwards out there. He goes up in the air at the goal line.
Hey, it's Braylon Edwards here, wanting to welcome the sports marketing agency to Woodward Sports Network, to the family. Glad to have you guys. For the last decade, the sports marketing agency has literally leveraged athletes around issues such as mental health and substance abuse.
Comerica Park, sunshine, the crack of the bat. More sunshine, warmth. We're almost there, Detroit. Summer 2022 will be the summer of Woodward sports. We just gotta make it through this damn cold first. Big names, bigger opinions. It's the bottom line on Woodward Sports.
Hey, it's Stick telling you about the lovely people at Lady Jane's. And you know what? I didn't know I was going to be on today till Maz texted me early in the morning. And I wore a hat. I was all disheveled. I was like, you know what? I better run to Lady Jane's real quick, get my hair cut before I come on at 2 o'clock with the lovely Braylon Edwards. Braylon walks in, saw me get my hair cut by the beautiful Alyssa.
That's my girl.
And what a great haircut, man. You get the neck massage, you get the scalp rub, and she got me looking clean for the rest of the week. So thank you, Alyssa, for that. And if you want the King's treatment, there's only one place that you need to go.
Where's
it's
that?
Lady Jane's, because it's wicked awesome.
Wicked awesome.
Welcome back to The Bottom Line, live on the Woodward Sports Network, also live on The Roar. So thank you guys for listening there and listening on our app, which is free for download in the Apple or Google Play Store. Just search Woodward Sports, and you can take us with you anywhere that you go, 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, and it's all there, right there on your app. And thank you to everybody that's been a part of the YouTube chat today. Make sure you smash that like button for us, because we appreciate that.
It's a birthday like. Give me a birthday like for my birthday, man.
Yeah,
Come on,
man.
turn up.
Don't
Just
be
for the
stingy.
B-Day.
Don't be stingy
I
with
don't
your
ask
likes.
for much. I don't ask for much.
So we were talking a little bit about this. You guys said that you've been all over this. There was a comment about one guy going to play for the San Francisco 49ers, and that name is Tom Terrific, Tom Brady. Braylon, do you see that happening?
So I'm gonna let Matt start this one. Matt, go ahead. You and I have been all on this. You go ahead, Matt. You start.
Since day one, I have said next year he is going to be the quarterback for the 49ers. I looked at him in that last game when the Buccaneers were coming back against the Rams, who were trying to give the game away. And when Tom Brady took him down the field and hit Mike Evans with that touchdown to tie that game, you looked at Tom Brady's face, and that looked like a man that did not want to retire to me. It looked like a man that was a little upset because deep down he knew he had to retire because he probably promised his wife and family. But yet he looked deep inside himself and said, man, I can still do this. Yeah, I'm not going to do it for the Buccaneers anymore, but I'm going to go home for my childhood favorite team and play for the 49ers. As the 49ers played just a few days after that game in the NFC Championship with Jimmy Garoppolo. Jimmy Garoppolo's not going to re-sign there. Trey Lance is there. He's going to be the heir apparent. Who better to hand the torch over to that kid than Tom Brady? Braylon brought it up to me. I agreed with it since day one. And Mike Florio says he believes that Tom Brady will be the starting quarterback week one for the 49ers.
I brought it in the Mavs as more like kind of like when I'm playing devil's advocate, because I'm of the strong belief that he's not coming back. But on a particular show about 3 weeks ago, I said, I'm gonna play devil's advocate, and I brought that up. I said, hey, you know what? If he did come back, I could see him coming back for the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. I mean, not Tampa Bay Buccaneers. I see him leave Tampa, retire, and then come back for the 49ers for this sense. He's always been a 49ers fan. He grew up watching Broadway Joe. That's around the area that he grew up. So to go back home, to finish there, that everything is right. Jimmy G, they're trying to move him. They move Jimmy G. They'll have more cap space. They'll have more money. You still have Trey Lance on a rookie deal. Who better to learn from for 1 year than Tom Brady, a guy that probably wants to play there anyway. He wants to finish there. He wants to play for another season. Now you get at least Giselle saying, hey, you know what? All right, baby, we come close to home. It's San Fran. I love the shopping out here. I love the view, the vantage point out here. All right, it's cool. I see you moving closer to that goal of retiring. It's time to get back on the field, play for the 49ers. Trey Lance, he's going to be excited. That team gets that elevation. Like, they instantly go. If they get Brady.
Who's going to beat him? Nobody.
So when I was saying that, I started listening to myself. You never do devil's advocate, and as you're playing devil's advocate,
convince yourself.
I convinced myself, and then Maz was like, "Braylon, I'm sold." And so I'm like, "Dang, man, I'm sold too." It could be a good move. Because I think the pieces align perfectly for this to happen. I think it happened the right year. Jimmy G's up this year. They bring him in. Like, the team is like literally, they're right there. You got Dabo Swinney. You have Debo. You literally have Trey Lance. And I don't think Trey Lance would be pissed. That's another thing when you're a rookie quarterback or you're a young guy, you're a young quarterback, and you're waiting for your chance. You're like, it's my time now. Well, if I'm playing and it's my time and I feel that way, but oh, by the way, they want to bring in Randy Moss, I'm like, Oh, no, that's cool. Y'all bring him in. I would like to learn from him. So I think everything is kind of aligning at that point. I still don't think he's coming back. But if he does, it will be for the 49ers.
He could stick it to Jimmy G one last time, too.
Well, I'll tell you this.
know, right?
He's making those throws that Jimmy G doesn't, right? He's not missing that man in the end zone in the Super Bowl. He's not missing a couple wide open passes in the fourth quarter against the Rams.
Man,
think
I would
about
love to see
this,
it.
man. If Tom Brady does this and is successful there, that means he owns the Midwest because Michigan loves to claim him, even though he didn't play a ton at Michigan. Michigan loves to claim him, as they should. He did go to Michigan, right? Then
Orange Bowl MVP.
Then he owns the East Coast. He owns Boston because of all that he's brought them.
And then the
Then
West.
he owns Florida because of what he brought to Tampa.
shoot.
And then he owns the West Coast because of what he's going to do at San Francisco.
You're right.
Tom Brady will be the next president of the United States if he does that.
It's so funny because everybody wants to hate Brady because they really want to hate the Patriots. Like, I'm to the point where I watch. People actually like Brady, especially once Brady left the Patriots and you get a snapshot into who he really is and how cool he really is. Everyone just hated the Patriots. You literally are correct. If he does this, because you got all the Floridas like, no, Tom's all right by us, you know, and Midwest and then East Coast, except the New York Jets. You go to the West Coast and now you win with the 49ers. Like as a matter of fact, you would have to play rock, paper, scissors between him and the Rock to see who was going to be the president, who's going to be vice president. Because right now I'm strong for the Rock. Rock 2024.
I have a feeling they have different political beliefs. They may run against each other. I could see evidence because, Tom Brady, say what you want. He's a conservative. He rocked the Trump hats. He golfs with Trump. He does his thing. And The Rock, obviously, is, on the Democratic side. So can you imagine that election in America?
Hey.
That would drive us to civil war.
Ain't nobody making over $300 million voting blue. I'm just saying. it may look good on Instagram. We know what you're really voting when you make $300 million.
Yeah, so it's out there. It's in the universe. Is it going to happen? Who knows?
Yeah.
But if people are talking about it and we hear this come across our radar, we got to discuss it because if this happens and we're like, yeah, we heard about that months ago and never said a word, we look like idiots.
Also, I think what you're starting to see is the older players but of the new generation, they're starting to realize like nobody wants to be Brett Favre. The reason why people hated Brett Favre, it's not because Brett Favre played after the Green Bay Packers, after the Minnesota Vikings, after the New York Jets. Well, no, he didn't play after the New York Jets. They're mad because he retired every time he did. So, like, Brett basically slammed the door, he shut it down, then everybody gives you your flowers, your awards. They talk about how great you was and how good you were, and then all of a sudden, 4 months later, you're playing for another team. People hated that. What you're noticing the newer guys doing is, hey, you know what? I'm not going to say never. Because that way you give yourself an out.
Right.
If you come back, you can go back and say, I never said I was done. Guess who just did that yesterday at the All-Star in the press conference after? LeBron James. They asked him about coming back to Cleveland. They said, is that a chance to come back to Cleveland? Because obviously he's very unhappy right now with the GM, and that is Rob Pelinka of the Lakers. He failed him before signing free agency deadline. He didn't trade for anybody. It didn't look like he wanted to make a move. There were some deals out there. He said something about the Snead shirt at the Rams pep rally. It was like, F them draft pick. He's like, that's my kind of guy right there, a guy that drafted well. He also made mention of Presti, the OKC GM, who's drafted well, who's traded well. So he's making those shots. He's throwing them at Rob
Bronny, that's where he's playing.
He's throwing those at Rob Pelinka. They asked him, he said, hey, can you see yourself coming back to Cleveland? And you know what LeBron said? The door isn't closed on that. The newer old player is leaving themselves out. Tom Brady says, you never know.
Yep.
LeBron said, door's not closing that. They're smarter now.
Well, we'll find out where he goes, or if he just stays home and watches football on Sunday like the rest of us. I just can't see a world where Tom Brady isn't playing. I'm not used to that in my brain yet, but we may find out this season. Also want to talk to you. The Steelers made an interesting coaching hire. Plus, they got some quarterback situations going on, and I want to talk to you about that coming up next. Right here on the Woodward Sports Network. My name is Stick, filling in for the wonderful, beautiful Ryan Ermani. That is
hey, man, the hell
boy.
with Ryan Ermani. He called me this morning on my birthday. I said, what's going on, Ryan? I appreciate the phone call.
I saw his tweet.
Yeah, I was looking forward to it. And then he was like, man, I'm just out here in sunny. Florida is 82 degrees. I said, you know what, man, kiss my butt.
Yeah.
Kiss my butt.
Yeah. He said you're like a brother in the tweet. Did he offer to take you to Florida? That's what I do with my family.
He took off on my birthday week, so me and him, we're going to have a long conversation when we get back.
Enjoy your vacation, Ryan. He will be back on Monday, and we will be back next, right after this. My name is Stick. That's Braylon Edwards.
And this is The Bottom Line.
I'm Kay Cunningham. Working with Hall Financial to purchase my first home was easier than I could have ever imagined. They treated me like family from start to finish. Find out for yourself at callhallfirst.com.
Make sure you download the Woodward Sports app in the App Store and the Google Play Store today. Take Woodward Sports with you wherever you go and listen live on your phone or mobile device.
Want to tell you how to be protected, and I'm not talking just at your home. I'm talking at your business too, if you need that. And these guys, they've been doing it for over 90 years, so they got it figured out. And it's not like, oh, they were nice 90 years ago. No, they have stayed on the cutting edge of everything technological, so you can pretty much control your house and your security system from your phone. And it's real easy to get a hold of Guardian Alarm. They are your local security experts. All you got to do is call this number. It's 1-800-STAY-OUT. 1-800-STAY-OUT.
Stay out of here.
That is the number that you need to call, and they will keep people out of your house. It's really that simple. They have 24-hour monitoring. We went to their office the other day, and it's crazy how many people they have sitting there just watching and like hawks, making sure that your business is safe, your home is safe, and that you have the peace of mind that you deserve. So go ahead. It's worth a little bit extra every month to have that peace of mind. I'm telling you, I got Guardian Alarm at my house, and it's changed the game. I get even to the point where I want to see what my dog's up to during the day.
You can do it right now.
I could go in and see what Woody's doing. So Guardian Alarm, great people, great place. Make sure you give them a call today and let them know that Woodward Sports sent you. That number one more time for the people in the back. 1-800-STAY-OUT. Stay out.
Stay out. You know what you should do? You should like dress up in black, like fake rob your house to see like how fast Guardian's response time is.
I'm afraid they'll be there like that.
No, it's me. I live here. It's Braylon.
Just me, guys. Just me.
I tell you what, I wouldn't do that.
All right, Bray, you ready for your next presidential question?
Hit me.
On President's Day, it's Braylon's birthday, and he's a history expert. All right. We left you at what president ended the draft?
Yeah, FDR. You left me
No,
there.
no, that's the one I want to ask you now. Which president ended the draft?
In terms of drafting
The draft,
individuals to go to war?
like the Korean War, the Vietnam War.
Could have been Nixon.
It was Nixon.
There we go.
Tricky Dick.
There we
good
go.
man.
Tricky
Good man.
Dicky.
All right, how about this one? Who was the first Roman Catholic president?
JFK.
Yes. You're on fire.
All right, one more. We I'm high right now. You got to know when to end it.
This is good now. This will be easy for you. Which president is the first to have a rescue dog while in office?
Rescue dog. You got to give me an error on that one.
FDR. Now.
Oh, wow. It's Biden?
It is. It's Joe.
He needs an awake dog. That's what he needs.
Sleepy Joe's got a dog.
Seeing eye dog.
There you go. We'll hit you more up later.
Man. Okay.
It is President's Day, and it's Braylon's birthday, and apparently those things coincide to where Braylon knows everything about presidents for some reason. Why do you think that is? Just a topic that you always were curious about?
I think I've always naming things, like trying to memorize things and name things. States, capitals, because they kind of go hand in hand. And
that's me too.
I love geography and I love history. So you kind of mix those together, and you typically get states, capitals. Black Hills is where Mount Rushmore is.
That's right.
So you start doing that thing. They kind of coincide. Mountain ranges.
Tammy Chin wrote up that we should get a team together for a trivia night because I'd handle.
I'm ready.
The sports trivia.
I'm pop culture.
You'd handle
down.
history.
I'm down.
She said there's other people. I forgot who else. I could do movies and trivia.
I could do
and
movies
she said
and
Stick
trivia.
could do everything else.
Yeah, I'm literally, that's all my brain is
Jack of all trades.
stupid knowledge. And,
Let's-
I worked in top 40 radio forever.
Yeah.
So
Oh, let's
anything
do
pop
it.
culture since the early 2000s, I got you.
I got a feeling Sam will be really good at this. Like Sam's quiet right now, but Sam, I know Sam will be good at this.
He hasn't been the same since the Chili Peppers read.
I'm a good trivia person. I mean, at least if I say so myself, I gotta defend my honor there. But then again, I gotta prove it. You can't just take my word for it.
All
But
right,
yes,
let's do a
I think
team
I'm
building
I'm
night and
down.
do that.
Let's
do it.
I'm totally down
Maybe
to
we
do
do
that.
like you double up where you do a bowling alley because that'd be good for Maz, myself. That does trivia. You know how they do like karaoke randomly at bowling alley?
Okay.
Maybe we find one that does both and we just have a night.
I love it.
I'm down, man.
I'm down.
Well, let's talk a little bit NFL. Steelers hire Brian Flores, and I was shocked that this is the position that he got, senior defensive assistant. To me, that's disrespectful to what Brian Flores is, the coach that he is, because to me, he's a head coach. He proved he was a head coach. He took Miami, made greatness, not greatness, but made a respectable product out of crap. And I cannot believe this guy's not a head coach in the league. And it's just Steelers being the Steelers, getting stronger, right?
I like this move, and I'll tell you why. Usually when you get those weird titles like that, like A. Lynn, we had Anthony Lynn on Friday. He's now the assistant head coach out there in 49ers. Basically what those are, they're fancy terms to say you're going to get paid more than all position coaches, but you don't have a position. If they need you at linebacker to help out, they need you over DN to help out, they need you to game coordinator.
He is going to help the linebackers, by the way.
Exactly. He's going to help the linebackers, but he kind of can float, makes more money. The thing I like about this is, one, it's called the Rooney Rule. So I'm glad he's in the Steelers right now. That was a little fun. But you look at this, and I posted it on on Twitter, is you're starting to see all the guys that get hired, all the coaches that get hired. And I said something. You look at the Kevin O'Connells, who comes from Sean McVay. You look at where guys are going. Zach Taylor is under Sean McVay, who's under Kyle Shanahan. The guys that are getting hired as coaches in the NFL, like, yes, we know it's biasness, but even outside of that, they're under trees that are successful. The guys are getting hired. Owners and franchises are looking like, okay, I want to have the success that the Rams are hiring. Maybe I just go pluck somebody off their staff. That's what you're seeing. And that's what I said Mike Tomlin could have done a much better job of over his last 16 years. He could have been hiring black coaches so that they can go out there and get plucked off his tree. Because we call Mike Tomlin one of the best coaches in the NFL, Maz, over the past 20 years, correct?
He never had a losing record, right?
He never had a losing record. Close he came was 8-8 last year or the year before, or this year, whenever.
God, imagine that being your floor.
3 years ago. Like, literally 16 years, no losing records, one tie year where you're 8-8. Like, you got to get guys off that tree. You got to hire some guys that look like you, because then they can get jobs. Because the people that want to have success, they're now not necessarily looking at are you black or are you white. They're looking at your record, you being hired, and they're like, oh, shoot, this guy he's the legit. So I know he's come off that tree. That's why I like that hire. You start to make more moves like that. Plus, I just think, it's good for him to get back into the NFL. I think the longer he might have waited with this situation, then it may have been a situation where he wouldn't have got back into the NFL. Talk about Brian Flores. Now he's on a team. Now he's on a good team in terms of what they are as an organization. Mike Tomlin, they're about winning. They're about identity. You can arguably say them, Patriots, and the Ravens are the best doing it. Now the Rams in terms of from top to bottom. So it's a good team to be on. And I think moving forward in the process, that he gets plucked into a head coaching job.
I think Mike Tomlin saved Brian Flores' career
I agree.
by keeping him active. He is still an active coach now.
Out of sight, out of mind.
You got it.
Out of sight, out of mind.
It's just crazy to me that he's not a head coach in this league. I thought for sure he was at least going to get the Texans job.
Well, now that goes to do with bias.
Yeah. Well, another guy who claims bias sometimes, but you never really know about this guy. Antonio Brown. He released pictures and x-rays of his ankle, and he's pretty much calling out everybody in the organization that tried to make him play. And this is what he's saying. He couldn't play because of this. Alex Mayer, do you mind reading that while you're there?
They tried to hurt me intentionally at the Buccaneers, sent me out there after knowing I was still hurt. Tom said he would throw it if I came to play hurt that game. He didn't throw it. Imagine being hurt, having to play through this, and being lied to. Coach said if I couldn't run on this, get the F out of there. And when he's talking about this, he's talking about the x-ray that he's showing right here. And then it says, F all you MFers. And he's not talking about Monday Night Football. Still can't stop me at NFL. Not for long. So what I wish he would have done with the x-ray, because sometimes it's difficult to read x-rays and MRIs. I wish he would have kind of this is AB we're talking
circle
about.
It or something.
But I wish he would have circled out to help people that have never seen an x-ray, that doesn't know what it looks like. I said this to Maz, and I kept saying this. I said this is going to be a situation that the Buccaneers are going to want to settle early. They're going to want to settle out of court. I said because there are too many moving factors, and I think if you do a situation, you see they said we're going to have our own people do it, and I was talking about the Giants situation with Flores. Said no, we'll make our own people do it. It's the same thing. If you open up Pandora's box, the Buccaneers, you say, hey, go into our stuff, go into our files, go into our snapshots, go into our emails. You don't want to mess with trying to leak some other stuff out, because there's already some stuff going on that Bruce Arians and Tom Brady were butting heads. And that's why another reason why Tom Brady left early. So you don't know if that's the thing. They want to settle this if it's true, because, the x-ray doesn't lie. The text that he was hurt doesn't lie. He didn't practice that week going into the Jets game. We know that to be truthful. There are a lot of things that AB has done This one right here, Buccaneers, y'all might want to settle.
Do you think this helps him get back in the league? Because I think he wrote his check out of the league when he stripped and left the field. Like, who wants to bring that baggage on? Because you are already knowing you're bringing on baggage, and he just keeps proving people right when he hops on board. Do you think posting that and like talking about that's going to help him at all?
Every time they bring him somewhere, he still looks good when he's there.
Okay.
Like even when they brought him into the Patriots after the whole S show that was the Raiders, what did he do? He went out there and scored. Like his second catch of the game was a touchdown. They bring him into, and then he badmouths Robert Kraft after the Patriots thing blew up. Guess what? Tom, okay? This is Tom Brady we're talking about. He vouched for him. He brought him to Tampa. What did he do that first year there? Scored in the first playoff game, scored a touchdown in the Super Bowl, helped win that Super Bowl. Last year when Chris Godwin was out, when Mike Evans was out, AB was balling last year. If you look at his stats, AB was balling. His check, this doesn't hurt him. It only helps. Somebody's going to take a look at Antonio Brown, because the one thing that he always is, he comes to practice, he comes to play, with the exception of the Jets game. But, I mean, you're looking at his ankle. That's the one thing he won't let you down on. He may do some dumb stuff off the field. He may do some stuff that's detrimental to his own character. But when he gets in that practice field, he practices hard. Nobody works harder than him in the offseason. I don't think he's done it with people taking chances.
Okay. Yeah, I don't know who the hell will give him a chance.
Yeah.
You'd think like the Raiders, but you already burnt that bridge. Like I just don't know where the hell he can go that needs that bad boy. Yeah, the Steelers. He burnt that bridge.
Yeah.
Is he going to go to Russell Wilson out in Seattle? Maybe
he won't be there.
Yeah, so I just don't know how he's going to get back in the league, and I don't know what GM is looking at that, weighing his talent to the headache. And
Russell might be rocking that fleur-de-lis next year.
Ooh, well, there you go. Put Antonio Brown on the Saints. That would be a nasty look,
there
too.
You go.
I don't know. We'll find out where Antonio Brown winds up. He may not be in the league ever again.
Speaking of Steelers, here's an interesting thing. Tell me if you rock with this. All right, they're looking for a quarterback. You got a guy that was drafted first round. He was second pick overall 5 years ago or 4 years ago. He had to go rehab his image He had to rehab his playing ability.
Yep.
He goes to a team that has one of the best offensive coordinators in the NFL. Now that offensive coordinator is the head coach of the New York Giants. Mitchell Trubisky could be your quarterback for the Pittsburgh Steelers next year. I'm just saying.
I don't hate that. I love Mitch Trubisky. He's got a skill set, right?
And he was under Josh Allen last year.
He whooped the Lions' ass.
He was with Daboll last year, with Brian Daboll, who's now the coach of the New York Giants. I'm telling you, might not be done on Mitchell Trubisky.
Very sneaky there, Braylon
I like
Edwards.
Jameis with Pittsburgh.
Sneak move. Jameis coming off that ACL injury. Not that he moves a lot in the pocket anyway, but I don't know.
Yeah, Jameis's time, I think, is done.
That's Ryan's guy, man. Ryan's lobbying for that one.
Yeah, no, I like the Trubisky take. I mean, it ain't going to be Haskins. We know that.
Oh, no, not at all.
Well, we got Maz's videos of the day coming up next. Maz, you got some good stuff on the docket for us? All right.
I certainly do. And we have an open now, a musical open for it.
Ooh, beautiful.
We do.
Oh,
so we're going to do that next right here on the Woodward Sports Network. My name is Stick, filling in for Ryan Ermani. That is Braylon Edwards. Make sure you hit the like for Braylon's birthday.
Man. Come on, dog. Let me my birthday.
And tell him the name of the show, Braylon.
It is The Bottom Line on Woodward Sports.
Fellas, let's be honest. We like things to be easy. We like simple stuff, like sports 7 days a week. We like things uncomplicated, like Lady Jane's Haircuts for Men. Open 10 to 8, 7 days a week. Walk in anytime. Sign in, sit down, watch your favorite team play, and before you know it, your hair will be game ready. Open 10 to 8, 7 days a week. Walk in anytime. Lady Jane's Haircuts for Men. It's wicked awesome.
What's the over-under? Should I tease? Who is the lock of the night? Make sure you're watching Woodward Bets to get the latest in sports betting and more. Woodward Bets daily on Woodward Sports.
Man, birthday today. Tell you what, on Saturday, we celebrated the B-Day with Gypsy Vodka. And don't worry, definitely drove responsibly, man. Misstuffed Gypsy, so pure. Just tastes smooth. And vodka's hard to make taste smooth. The fact that this stuff is so smooth, it brought me back to the vodka side. I'm trying to tell you, gluten-free. Maybe it's because it's corn distilled 6-time using artesian spring water. This stuff is smooth. This stuff is good. Adam and Mike, you did it with this one, baby. Just like Jay-Z told Rick Rubin, you did it with this one. Love it, but make sure when you go down to your local neighborhood liquor store and you ask for Gypsy Vodka, make sure you plan on drinking safe when you have some Gypsy. Drink it, love it, Gypsy.
And now it's time for Maz's videos of the day, only on the Woodward Sports Network.
I want one of those introductions. That was cool.
Officially official,
man.
Happy birthday, Braylon. There's Maz's introduction.
I know, right? Jesus Christ.
That's it. I'm done now.
You didn't like my videos of the day?
I do.
Oh, man.
The old Max Headroom.
We can still do it. Why don't you intro it, then he can replay that again.
Yeah, that was clean. I like that. Shout out to the graphic artist. Who did that, Jay?
Justin did it, yeah. And honestly, he put in a lot of work because if you
tell.
look at each one of those individual
It's
tiles,
a video he's
it's a
already
viral
done.
video that we've already done. Yeah, he
I
put.
can tell.
I want to see it again.
You want to say one more time? Let's run it back.
I like how it finds Maz in the middle and then goes in on him. Let's
Only
go.
on the Woodward Sports Network.
Hey, yeah, that was good.
All right, Maz, hit him with it, baby.
All right. First of all, I want to apologize, everyone, for wearing my USA jersey today because I knew it was great.
Hey, never apologize for wearing red, white, and blue anywhere, anytime on this planet.
Okay.
That's America, baby.
But the reason I have this is my Miracle on Ice jersey.
Yeah.
This is by Mike Aruzioni. Miracle on Ice. Now, I knew it was your birthday.
Right.
But for some reason...
It's 21.
For some reason, 2/22 got stuck in my head. I thought today was the 22nd because that's Miracle on Ice Day.
Right.
So tomorrow, I got to dig up another old USA
you can run that
jersey.
back.
I can't run this back again 2 days in a row.
You
so I
can.
got to knock off USA one from, a newer USA team.
bought that in Cleveland at the
I'll have to
All-Star
wear
game?
that tomorrow. So I wanted to...
But I love that you wear the Uzeroni because
Thank you.
it's 21.
That's it, babe.
21st.
Oh,
There you go.
There you go. Look
See?
at that. Hey, I'm going to start you off with, we peed all over the NBA All-Star
I'm
dunk
not done, by the
contest,
way.
right? The
I'm
dunk
peeing
contest.
some more tomorrow.
The dunk contest was horrible. This guy must be in the dunk contest. Check out John Morant during the All-Star game.
I see Giannis and I see all his stats.
Oopsers. Oopsers.
Look
at this.
Joker. This is here. Oh,
Oopsers.
He had to extend.
Look at that. That's a 10.
So
That's a 10.
You know what I love about this is John Morant never let you down. Like obviously, Zion Wilson didn't get played a whole rookie year. His rookie year, he came in halfway, played pretty good, but John Morant was there the whole year and he played damn good. John Morant, this is his first year at the All-Star game, did not disappoint. Zion, on the other hand, remember his rookie game? All-Star game last year, missed like 20 dunks.
Yeah.
I said I've never seen Zion miss a dunk. And in the All-Star game, he missed all the dunks. John Morant does not disappoint.
Watch out for Memphis, man. They're a quiet team that you don't want to play against.
Oh, did you see that one block John Morant had this year where he's literally
Oh,
like this
yeah,
far
both
and he,
hands.
in both hands
Both
just
hands.
catches it like a wide receiver in the end zone?
It was like the Michael Jordan block when he was with the Wizards, but plus about 20 inches.
The guys on
the
TNT
vertical.
were begging John Morant to play and to
dunk
go
contest.
in the dunk
Yeah.
contest. You know what he said? That rim ain't high enough. That rim ain't high enough.
I saw the video of his plane ride into Cleveland. He definitely was high enough.
He was high enough.
Yeah, he definitely was high enough.
They stopped testing in the NBA. So
a guy
you're good.
that used to dunk in my day was Marcus Johnson. Played for the Bucks. Okay, this was his. He's still dunking, except he dunks at home. He dunks on the playground in his backyard, and he dedicated this dunk to his late mother.
66 years old, time for the birthday dunk. That's right, I'm gonna give it one more shot. Don't know if I got it in me, but we shall see. Now, I was gonna rock the Butters, but I didn't want to choke them up too tight and disrespect New York like that.
That's what I'm talking about, Mark.
My mom's, the love of my life. She passed away January 5th. Medea, this is for you.
What a smooth old school cat, man.
Is this guy cool?
Oh no!
Cool.
Wait till the dunk goes out.
With me on this, Medea.
You saw this?
Yeah, I saw it. No, I got something to say about him after this.
You
dunk.
think the rim was down?
That's for you, Medea.
Woo! So two things about that. One, that rim was regulation. You can see how hard he's breathing. Like he took 3 steps, but he's breathing hard because when you go up, you exert the energy. So I do believe it's real. Second of all, you know what he's most notable for is not dunking. It's how smooth he was in Blue Chips. Remember Blue Chips?
Oh, yeah.
God,
He
yeah.
was the assistant coach.
The assistant.
Like, that's where I remember him from is Blue Chips. His voice, he was like, Tony was my guy. Oh, man, that's my part
Marcus
right there,
Johnson's
man.
a good man.
Hey, man, get goosebumps every time I hear that part.
Ooh.
UCLA, yep.
Anthony Hardaway was in that movie.
Butch McRae.
Shaq, Butch
Neon
McRae.
Radio.
Loved that movie, and it came out on
Nick
my
Nolte.
birthday.
94.
On my birthday.
That was an
it came out.
underrated movie back in the day, for
I
sure.
own that on Blu-ray.
Do you?
Who uses Blu-ray?
I owned it on VHS.
Who uses Blu-ray?
I own it on the original DVD player, not Blu-ray. Hey, there's a movie that came out on my birthday,
I love
too,
Nick
though.
Nolte.
What
Okay,
else you
next
got
one.
for us, buddy?
Here's a couple,
He like left his hand.
here's our thing now. We had some coaches fighting yesterday. We got Juwan Howard
wanna
against
call it
Greg
that.
Gard at Wisconsin. How about these two cats? Back in 1994, John Chaney from Temple
Oh yeah,
breaks into John Calipari's press conference.
Yes.
Let's
Oh,
let
man.
this one go. Let him rumble.
In more ways.
Shut up, guys.
Put hands on him.
You remember that. When I see you, I'll kick your ass. Kick your ass.
I'll kick your butt.
You got a good team, and you don't need that ass. That's why I was telling my kids to knock your kid in the mouth.
That's what I'm talking about.
John Chaney
Love
took
it.
no crap,
None.
especially from Cal.
But
None.
can I play like this happened in 2022? Oh my God, his players. What are they gonna think? He's a
Oh, my
leader of
God.
men.
Yeah.
He's a college coach. We're paying him. He's not supposed to
Yeah.
have that type of energy. Like,
Meanwhile, Don
Unbelievable.
Chaney.
that just shows how soft we have gotten
Yes.
as a society.
Not we. They.
The proverbial they.
Them.
Yeah.
John only coached for 40 years in NCAA, so obviously he was a leader of men, knew what he was doing.
No,
That's-
not
that's-
with that, Braylon. You can't act like that and expect to be a leader of men.
And usually the they are the people that
Morons.
aren't even true sports supporters. They're the they that just comment on sports clips.
Right.
Hey, I got one more funny one
I
for
love
you.
that.
This is-
Calipari wanted no smoke.
This is from the 1960s NFL films.
Of
This
course.
guy gets hurt. Look how they take him off the field. He is sitting in a folding chair. Look at this. It's not even strapped together. It's not even strapped down. They were wheeling him out.
What do they do when they get on an uneven surface? It's game over.
They hit a crack and he just falls.
That, ladies
game
and
over.
gentlemen, is the 1960s NFL.
Man, how much money has changed the game of the NFL? Not only the way the players take care of themselves, the
They had
training.
one photographer. Look at the guy that they rolled
Isn't
by.
that
He's like the
something?
only guy photographing the game. Now I wonder about all the shots are like from the kneecap up.
Right.
I wondered that.
And that guy had to go work a full-time job after that
Yep.
game, too.
Yeah,
That's the
smoke a
crazy part.
cigarette,
Yeah.
drink a pint.
While they're sitting on the bench.
Selling cars. Hey, yeah, I'm here.
I just wanted to say a happy birthday to Braylon, 39 years young. Congratulations, brother. We're going to cut that cake. Should we sing
are.
to Braylon?
Yeah, of course.
Let's
Everybody.
sing to him. Give him the
Happy
cake so we can fake blow out the
birthday
candles.
to you.
Happy
birthday to you. Happy birthday, dear Braylon. Happy birthday to you. One time for the birthday boy.
Speech.
2 time for the birthday boy. 3 time for the birthday boy. That's your birthday boy.
I love you guys, man. I appreciate it. I love working here. I think, each year is about finding growth, trying to, push the needle forward in your own life, and deal with the ups, the downs, and deal with them in stride. Being a part of Woodward Sports Network has been truly a blessing, a joy in my life. So I love working with you guys, Maz, Alex, Sam, Ryan, who's not here, Stick. I love the core things that we're building here.
Yeah.
I just love being a part of it, man. So I really appreciate that. And I love the bottom line, man. And that's the bottom line.
Hey, we appreciate you, man, wanting to be a part of the network. I mean, I don't know if everybody knows the story, but when we started this, we hit you up right away, and timing wasn't right, but I think the timing worked out perfectly for you to come into this show with these people, and, the brotherhood and the chemistry that you guys have as a show is phenomenal. And you're only, 8 months in?
8 months in, man.
Crazy.
August 12th. So.
Absolutely.
Right,
I got
so-
one last presidential question for you before we go.
All right, then we got to get out.
This has got a Michigan tie to it. That's your
Gerald
hint.
Ford.
Which president worked as a model for Cosmopolitan magazine in the 1940s?
Oh, it's got to be Gerald Ford.
Gerald
Gerald
Ford. Yes, sir.
Gerald Ford, actually one of the only players to have his jersey retired at Michigan. He was All-American fullback, halfback, number 48.
And he's got his own airport in Grand Rapids.
Yeah, he
That's
does.
beautiful. So.
Gerald R. Ford.
Yep.
Happy
Appreciate
birthday,
that,
man.
You
Appreciate
guys have a great day. Braylon, enjoy the rest of your day. This is your day, so go do whatever the hell you want now.
Appreciate that, man.
Thank you guys for watching The Bottom Line. Make sure you're watching Woodward Bets coming up tonight at 6 p.m. If you missed that, Adam and crew will be on with the Morning Woodward Show tomorrow morning at 8 a.m. We are out of here. Enjoy your Monday.
Shout on me.